Drunken Peasants podcast number 173.
The coffee episode.
We're doing live.
We're doing live.
Things suck. Drunken Peasants podcast.
Okay, do it.
That equals content. Out of any other YouTube.
Long series of cough.
Yeah. Be like watching that means
nothing.
Shit. Acid, any like can we say? Shit you do for top.
Basically, what do you want to say? No. Garbage, drunken peasant. Do it. We're not doing it.
Pay-per-view. Yeah.
False advertising. I don't not.
Right, let and then we'll say something. No way. It's an amazing deal.
God.
You wrong.
Wrong it since then. Shape. Right there is. I got him. Finger now.
I am the only one.
Fuck you, Scotty. Scotty's a piece of shit.
Damn. You guys are some coffin ass motherfuckers.
Shut up, Scotty. Fuck you. Fuck you, Scotty.
Oh, damn, man.
You are about to experience the Drunken Peasants podcast, the greatest podcast in human history. Please recognize that this podcast is designed to be amusing and entertaining, and thus we engage in satirical comments, exaggerations, and even dirty jokes. If you are offended by such things, please go away and die. If you enjoy this podcast, we ask that you help to support its existence by contributing to our Patreon at patreon.com/DP. Contributors get regular access to monthly private shows, special commentaries, Google Hangouts with the peasants, and more. If you don't want to do that, you can also support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants to get a free audiobook and access to over 150,000 audiobook titles, including great selections on science and skepticism. And if you shop on Amazon.com, we strongly urge you to use one of the Amazon affiliate links in the description section of our videos. You can help support the show simply by using our link to buy things you were going to buy anyway. Now that we've got all that shit out of the way, sit back and enjoy the show.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it. Hey, man. You got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be liked.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live.
And that really is my body
We'll do it
right
live.
there.
Fuck it.
Welcome to the Drunken Peasants podcast, episode 174.
Come on, man. We all know that was Photoshopped to make you
No, whatever.
less muscular
Hey.
than you actually are.
Thank you so much for not actually showing my face, but just my real body in that intro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke it every day.
Or don't, you know? Or you end up coughing like we were.
Yeah, so
It's not my fault.
let's talk about the big news really quick. Can we?
The big news?
Yeah.
Big news.
Big news do we have?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you playing dumb?
Ben,
I don't know what you're talking
Ben, just proceed forward as if TJ is irrelevant in anything.
I usually
Because
am.
he really is.
All right. So in January.
Oh.
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 I didn't really think that was big news.
You're ridiculous, TJ.
Whatever.
All right. So
Taco Bell is big news.
can we? Okay. In January, the Drunken Peasants are coming to Los Angeles, California, and we're going to do a meetup with our fans there. And Paul Zigo is actually going to be there too.
Paul Zigo.
So anyone who wants to go to the Los Angeles area in January, we'll give you more details as it gets closer. If you want to go there and meet up with all four of us in person, it's probably one of the only times ever this will be possible.
Yeah, because after this, we're going to kill Paul Zigo.
Well, no, but I mean Paul Zigo he lives pretty far away.
No,
Okay.
not true.
Anyway, I'm gonna mute your fucking mic. God.
By the way, Adam Maddock, I notice you. He was in the chat.
Do you want to talk about why we're going to LA yet, or do you want to?
No. Let's keep that under wraps.
All
for
right.
now.
But we will be in LA.
But it's
in
happening
January.
in January.
We will be
Yes.
in LA.
More details soon.
More details forthcoming for you, the audience.
Yes.
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 Time to make some money.
Yeah.
Time to make some money. Time to make some money. Time to make some money. Time to make some money on the Drunken Peasants podcast. Shut up. Fuck you, Scotty. Shut the fuck up. Scotty's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
By the way, since Christmas is kind of vaguely close now,
Give TJ shit.
if you guys stop kicking my damn mic stand, you piece of shit.
I thought it was your fucking leg.
No, well, that's even more disturbing. if we, yeah. No, hey, since Christmas is coming up, you're gonna do your Christmas shopping. You do it on Amazon.com. Be sure to use one of the Drunken Peasants Amazon affiliate links below. So,
You're gonna buy that shit anyways.
you can support the podcast by buying shit you're going to buy anyways. I know it already says in the intro, but I'm going to say it again during the show, so yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It really helps us out a lot. Doesn't cost you anything extra. If you're already going to buy it, just use the link. The links are down below in the description. Bookmark the links. So that way, anytime you want to go to Amazon, you just click on the bookmark. That's our link. And that helps us out tremendously.
Yeah, you want to buy your mom that 20-inch dildo that she's been talking about. There's no reason not to buy it on Amazon, so the Drunken Peasants can get a cut of that money.
By the way, I'm just going to do this now because I've been meaning to do this for weeks and I forget every fucking time. If you guys want to send us snail mail or anything like that, here's the fucking P.O. Box.
The Drunken Peasants P.O. Box 767-715 Sean Falls Drive, Dublin, Ohio 43017.
Yeah.
Shawan.
Send your shit there.
Yeah, if you want to send it. We will have a new segment on the show where we go through interesting stuff that people send us.
Send TJ used cum rags.
No.
Please don't.
Please don't.
The Drunken
Yes, for
Peasants,
TJ.
Shut up. P.O. Box 767-715 Shawan. That's SHAWAN Falls Drive, Dublin, Ohio 430.
They can fucking read, TJ.
There's people listening to audio of this, Scotty.
Well, then you're
You're
know
an
what?
idiot.
You're right.
You're a fucking idiot, Scotty.
You're right, TJ. I didn't think about that.
You didn't.
Wow.
I'm smarter
Hold
than
on.
you.
What just happened?
Scotty admitted he was wrong.
I know. What the fuck?
It happens twice a year just to confuse you.
All right. So, next thing really quick that we're going to get to is shirts, because shirts are still for sale.
They're a thing still, yeah.
They are, and we need to come up with some new ones soon, which...
Yeah, but we're selling some classics still, and, maybe some of these shirts are going to be retired after this run, so this might be your last chance to get some of these. Well, the Smoke Pan Everyday shirt probably does not go anywhere, but the TJ's Garbage shirt, maybe we won't re-up that, who knows? Smoke Pan Everyday hoodie, it's getting colder out there, motherfuckers. Band TJ hoodie as well, and Band TJ shirt, all available from our... official Drunken Peasants t-shirt store.
Yes, and we have gotten some new entries for both shirts and boobs, so if we take a break during the show, we will play those again.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Bobs.
So.
Ha! We got boobs.
Yeah, we got damn boobs on our show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we got some...
Not bad for a bunch of beta males, right?
Yeah, man. Beta male. So beta. Only kind of beta I am is a master beta.
I thought you were a fighting fish.
Nah, she has an extensive Betamax collection.
Betamax? Oh my god. That's like
I thought it was
Laserdisc.
going to beat VHS. Come on.
Yeah, that's like Laserdisc. Whoever went out and bought like one of those Laserdisc players and they cost like $4,000, you get a fucking big silver record.
This is the format of the future, guys.
Now everything's digital, so it's not as much of a concern. But remember, it was HD versus Blu-ray.
Right.
Which one will win? It's like, this is pointless.
Yeah, HD DVD versus Blu-ray. I think Blu-ray caught on just because it had a catchier name.
Blu-ray.
It does sound cooler.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. It's like,
HD.
Blu-ray.
It's just a bunch of letters, you know? It sounds like you fucking diagnosing someone with a disease. You have HD DVD. Oh, shit.
You're right.
Blu-ray, that sounds fucking cool, you know?
It's blue and there's rays.
That sounds like a Silver Surfer attack. Unleash the Blu-ray! You know, sounds way better.
Yeah.
All right. Our opening segment, just, to fit in with the thumbnail that we used for this show, our opening segment is one of the episodes from a series of Q&A videos that Steve Shives does on his channel. And this one, he has his wife or girlfriend, his significant other, in it with him. And multiple times throughout the video, she talks about the misogynistic things that he does. And he just sits there and takes it.
Well, she's right.
Like the bitch that he is, my friends. And by the way, Steve Shives, you guys, has blocked the Drunken Peasants.
I literally have never tweeted him.
Come on, Steve.
And it was the first time I ever even looked at his channel. And when I posted a screenshot of that on our Facebook, someone was like, check out this guy, see if he's blocked you. And I checked him, and he's blocked us too. Mm-hmm. It was that Asian guy that was
they
on
just don't want to be our
Jeopardy.
friends.
That's like a big time
What's wrong with
feminist.
that?
I can't remember his name right now.
How come no one likes us? But
I'm
yeah,
so
he also
lonely.
blocked me on my Amazing Atheist
So
Twitter. So
lonely.
Yep.
he just doesn't like us.
He doesn't like you, man.
I don't think I ever tweeted at him.
You know
either.
what, TJ? He probably likes me and Ben a lot. Just you, he has a problem with.
Yeah, he just hates my guts.
Yeah.
All right, so here it is. We'll skip around and find the the good parts. So
You had to ask.
yeah, I'll skip the intro music here. All right.
You had to ask us.
Us.
Couples edition.
Nice.
Ugh.
I'm joined this week
Couples.
by my lovely wife Ashley. She's going to answer some of your questions.
So
As am I.
basically, his wife inserted herself into his show.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's what it seems like.
Maybe.
Here.
I don't know.
That's what it seems like.
I don't know the backstory
Hey,
of that, but
you
I
know-
know that she thinks he's a misogynist, or at least in some way.
You know what's cool is he's wearing a Superman shirt, and I am representing the
Oh,
Batman, motherfucker.
Team Batman, bitch.
Team Batman.
Sadly enough, he also makes references in this video to wrestling that makes it sound like he's a wrestling fan too.
Ugh.
Yep.
And the first
He's
question
garbage.
I
comes
thought he started
to us
making wrestling
from
videos.
Emigdios Bag, who asks, "Hey Ashley, what are your thoughts on Steve's stuffy videos?" And Owar Nico also asked about the stuffed animals. What's it like living with a guy who talks to stuffed animals?
Oh. Well, I'm pretty used to it.
Well, it's horrible.
I mean, it's something we do to amuse ourselves, to amuse each other, and usually to cheer me up. So.
Yeah, not all of it, but a lot of the stuffy videos are based, like a lot of the jokes in them and the interactions are based on shit that we've done, like just to amuse ourselves with Stuffy and Toby Benson. I mean, their relationship to each other, their person.
All right, I'm just gonna.
Oh my God!
I'm just gonna lean back and I'm just gonna fall into a brief coma. You guys just keep playing it. I'm gonna just kind of chill.
Steve Shives, Paint Stride Edition.
As far as the godly presence.
Okay,
or,
that's a little different.
God,
It's a little different than
Faith.
atheism.
I just.
You're an
I skipped ahead a little bit.
Yeah, because now it's interesting.
But yet, I love.
Well, it's your fucking job to make it interesting, TJ. So why don't you do your fucking job?
Waka 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 woo la 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 la.
That doesn't make it more interesting. That just
So I grew
that
up
just
with
makes your odor go around the room more.
of everything you hate, basically, and
This is like the
there's something
antithesis
about
of
that
riveting.
background that is really hard for someone to shake. Who's
This is the
been
worst porn I've ever seen. When do they start fucking?
submerged in the baptismal waters for
Submerged
years
in what?
and
Like I'm submerged by stupidity and boredom.
but yeah, I don't know. Like there's something about the myth of it that's very attractive. There's something about the ritual of it that's very attractive.
Oh my God.
Appealing.
The ritual.
And I just I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
But when it comes down to
I don't know, but
No, you were right there. Just end it there. I don't know. Like
The
okay,
end.
good.
I think
Credits
it's kinda
roll.
silly to believe that.
Yeah, it's
But at the same time, I think atheists are as ridiculous
Yeah.
as the Christian community. In their
Just as
behavior.
ridiculous.
And also
Yeah.
in their misogyny
Misogyny.
Okay, but it's not fair to let the sexism and the misogyny speak for the entire group. Well, I would say misogyny is fair in many cases too, but
it just seems like.
I wonder what cases they're talking about.
Yeah.
I wonder if
What's the case? Does it have to do with people you blocked?
Maybe it does. Maybe it does. You know what I hate, guys? Women.
Yeah, you sure do.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
One big sausage party. That's what it seems like to me, and I don't like it, and I don't want to be a part of it. So there.
So you're an uneducated
Crucify
nitwit.
me, YouTube users. Crucify me.
Let's crucify her on
Why?
some sausages.
Look how happy he looks about that idea. He's like, fuck yeah, crucify her.
Please, guys, do it. I
Come
can't
on,
stand
please.
this bitch anymore.
Crucify-
Help me.
I irrationally hate everyone in this group.
I never
Fuck
wanted to
you.
make feminist videos. She's got me by the balls.
Yeah.
Someone kill her.
Once she's crucified, my gonads will be returned to me.
That face, it just reminds me of the old vaudeville joke, you know? So, you know, like, take my wife. No, take my wife.
Yeah.
You know?
Take my wife.
Take her.
Would that be ironic or would that just be funny?
Isn't it moronic? Don't you think?
Green Ghost 2008 to Ashley. What books do you like most?
How to Be a Total Tool by Toolie McToolerson.
Well, I've read so many, I've kind of lost track.
I've read so many books that it's hard for me to think of even one.
How many of them were written by Gloria Steinem?
Pamphlets are books, right?
I may have mentioned it, but I don't know. They may. Please do tell.
Do tell, bitch.
Well, I was a librarian for.
Let's skip ahead.
Yeah, that was. For a long time, that was my favorite book.
Right.
It would have to be the new Clash of the Titans,
Well,
which
look at
I
this.
found probably the most difficult to sit through of any film I've seen. Movies that I really, really hate. And
All right, he's going to talk about movies he hates.
Batman and Robin is a movie like that. Although
Well, everyone
I've
hates
kind
that piece of
softened
shit.
on that.
He saw
Batman
what?
and Robin, I think, is now.
Why would you stop? What?
What? Oh, you're an idiot.
Well, what he's saying is that it's now, in his opinion, under the category where it's so bad it's good.
No, it's just bad.
The Bat card, come on,
It's
guys.
just so much
The
fun.
Bat
Never leave the
So
cave without
shitty.
it.
It's so shitty in every way, but it's just I can't watch it and not enjoy it.
Well, you
because
gotta
it's
love the
just
ice
so
puns.
shitty. But like the second Star Wars prequel is a big one for me. Is just so terrible. There's just
All the prequels
so
are
bad
terrible.
that it's difficult to watch.
No, the first was great, TJ.
Armageddon is
Phantom
like
Menace.
that. It's just like God, what the fuck? It's just
It's a
so
galactic
terrible.
trade route dispute.
I have actually not seen any of
So
the
interesting.
Transformers movies, but I imagine that they would probably be on my list as well if I saw
Well,
them. That's just
as
my
someone who
Yeah.
has seen them, I can guarantee that they probably would, yes.
assumption. They may prove me wrong. I don't know.
No way.
No, they
Do you have
wouldn't.
any like least favorite movies?
Star Wars. All of it.
Yeah.
Not
Why?
surprised. Ice Queen.
I hate fun, and
Yeah.
those movies
Yeah.
are fun, and they disgust me.
I like the 1,000-yard stare. There's like glazed over look she just gave it.
Like, you know what I don't
you're an
like?
idiot.
How dare you?
What don't you like, baby? Anything that makes other people happy.
You're talking about
Seems
the original,
accurate.
right? Because I don't. Have you ever even seen?
Oh,
I'm
yes,
not-
the original. Oh, yes.
It's so
Tell
bad.
me-
Bear me your lightning, Jesus.
It's nothing compared to Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Sisterhood
nice
of the
people.
Traveling Pants.
What you
Hey,
did.
what about the underrated masterpiece Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2?
That's actually my favorite movie.
I think the subtitle was Revenge of the Pants. It wasn't. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was, but it was a great film.
When I showed you Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
The
they're
two
bad.
best ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're really bad. I don't like them.
I thought they were dumb.
I think I made myself go to sleep.
You
I gave myself to go to sleep.
you made yourself
That was a
go to.
wrestling
Yes, that was a wrestling reference.
High five.
Fucking A.
Okay.
Do you want to try for a wrestling reference and also a comic book reference and say it's clobbering time?
She's like, no, I'm not going to do something you told me to do.
No,
No, I'm not going to do anything you told me.
Look at, he
because
is just, oh my god.
I am strong and independent. I do not need to be told what to do by a man. Obviously. Okay, sweetie.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Didn't mean to have an opinion.
Oopsie.
Varmint Coyote, Steve, what do you think of those who find issues with feminism and
this should be good.
MRAs both, because they take issue with ignoring the legitimate issues of either that might be ignored by the other. I don't have a problem with people who want to bring up legitimate issues, whether it's a woman's issue or a men's issue. I think that's very important. The problem I find is when people try to equate feminism with the men's rights movement, because I don't think they're two sides of the same coin. I don't think that the men's rights movement is the male equivalent of feminism. I think feminism is a legitimate political movement that is needed and has accomplished positive things for our society over the last century or so.
Yes, regurgitate the strip she gave you earlier.
I don't think the men's rights movement is anything other than a fringe group of mostly just pissed off misogynists.
She's like analyzing everything he says, just like, oh, better not slip up.
About their ex-wives and their girlfriends and the women who won't fuck them. Now that doesn't mean that they're not. See, when I say that, people say, "What about this and what about that?" It doesn't mean that there aren't legitimate issues, and it doesn't mean that there aren't serious people.
But feminism will address it.
Feminism gonna solve all.
Well, that's what they always say. We don't need this men's rights, but we just need feminism, because feminism's gonna solve all of these problems.
RM, who are there maybe because they feel like they have nowhere else to go, because they feel like, well, this is what we have, so I might as well.
Let's start the men's rights movement. we gonna follow Roosh V. He gonna teach us how to legalize rape. Put women back in their place, man.
I like how basically it's just portrayed as like everyone that's involved in this is just like they're basically either, if they're like, you know, not assholes, then they're just losers who are down on their luck and just the MRAs preyed on them. It's like, you know, like the fucking charlatan, like, come here, you can live forever, just drink the snake oil.
Yeah, well, you go get a sex change and then make me a sandwich, bitch.
Sandwich, faggot.
It doesn't mean that every single person who is a part of the men's rights movement is a bigot, is a wife beater, or whatever.
All of them.
What it means is
they had wives.
The overall character of the movement is closer to that anti-woman thing. Whereas I just don't think it's fair to say the same thing about feminism. I don't think feminism is defined as a movement overall as a bunch of chicks that hate men.
Fail.
I think women have a legitimate grievance.
She's got her nails like dug into his leg right now, like, say
that right. Now you talk. I think it's kind of disgusting that the man spoke first here, guys, you know. This is a woman's issue. The woman should have been the first voice, and then the man after, if at all, you know.
Not even at all.
Right, I mean, the men's rights movement, which I wasn't aware of until you made me aware of it, unfortunately.
Wow. Did you guys see his expression there for a second? He just kind of looked away and was like,
yeah,
my life.
The whole movement just seems like a radical subgroup. That seems to be a buzzword on your channel. Radical subgroup.
Okay. Radical subgroup.
But, you know, I mean, like you said, I mean, I think feminism
is like good.
Can you actually elucidate what you believe or explain it even
within
rudimentarily?
feminism, it might have a radical subgroup.
Oh, certainly.
Obviously, yeah, that exists. Did you know Andy Warhol was shot by
a radical feminist?
Yeah,
Valerie Solanas. Yeah,
I think
everyone knows.
Scone or something.
Yeah, but
yeah, but they don't speak for the whole movement.
And they're a minority, a very, very small.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Let's pander to one another for the rest of this video.
Minority.
But it seems like the men's rights movement are just out to provoke and to get attention and to not have a civil discourse with anyone, which I think is it speaks for itself.
Logic is not needed here.
Turning into the Hulk.
Logic is not needed here.
Fuck.
At the same table with a woman and say, okay, let's discuss this rationally. You know, here are the things that I have a problem with. Let's hear what you have a problem. No, it's just like
the people.
They get up on their.
Someone from the group that demands they should never be offended or never meant to feel bad in any way is now saying, like, we just want to sit across the table and have a rational discussion.
Yeah, I've made plenty of videos about feminists, and none of them have been overtly harsh in tone, in my opinion. I mean, there's definitely people who go way further than me, there's always been room for a discussion, and almost no feminist has ever engaged in that discussion with me. I mean, I've received some emails here and there from feminists who, respectfully argued their points, or at least semi-respectfully. But that's pretty damn rare. Most of these people do not want to engage with any sort of opposition. They just want to read you the riot act, and your only option, if you want to be in their good graces, is to nod and, basically offer your balls up for castration.
Soapbox.
Yeah. Or they do. They maybe are willing to do something like that, but it doesn't change the
That
fact...
might be a radical subgroup of the men's rights.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't change the fact that the movement overall
is a bowel
like someone
movement.
asked a question. It was either in last week's you had to ask, or the week before. Do they really care about those legitimate issues that they bring up? Because they'll say, like, what about the bias in divorce settlements, or what about the bias in child custody, where men are just not as likely to get custody of the kids as women, and those are legitimate issues, but. The person asking that question was basically asking, do they really?
People have been affected by those issues that are upset about them, not just like, oh, let's just latch on to any little thing we can because then we can sit down on the sofa.
The men's rights movement really even care about that, or are they just using that for cover?
What? Hold on. What?
It's people have been affected by those issues that are upset about them, not just like, oh, let's just latch on to any little thing we can because then we can sit down on the soapbox. So you're basically just saying the entire movement is illegitimate and is just grasping for straws wherever they can find them to make a case against feminism.
I don't fucking pal around with the MRAs or anything. I mean, I follow some on Twitter. I follow some feminists on Twitter too, but. I would say that saying they're not genuinely concerned about that is kind of silly. That's one of their major concerns. It would be as insulting as if someone said, feminists don't really care about media portrayals of women. Of course they do. They harp on about it fucking endlessly. So, if you want to argue against your opponent's positions, that's one thing, but saying that they don't even really hold that position... I mean, unless you have some sort of compelling reason why you don't think they do, I mean, and I haven't heard it yet. That's just preposterous, silly, ridiculous, etc.
There definitely are people within the men's rights movement who do care about that. As a whole, I think the movement uses that kind of shit for cover. They
cover for
put
what?
those out
Why?
front and say, no, see, there are legitimate issues. There's a reason for us to be here. And then they go on Reddit and they bitch about their ex-wife and how they got fucked in their divorce.
What?
Well,
you just proved your own fucking point. You're saying like they're looking. I mean you just proved you're wrong. I mean you just said 1 second ago literally that they're just using it for cover. Then they go on Reddit and complain about how they got fucked in this divorce and like they don't have custody of their children. And then they're complaining about a bias in the legal system. It's like, yeah, that's why. What fucking connection are you missing?
The connection between his bullshit and reality.
You know what time it is now, my dear. I'll give you a hint. Just listen for this.
It's time for my daily blowjob.
What do you think?
I didn't hear anything.
I'm gonna put it in post.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a thunderclap.
Oh, and then the lightning?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman!
All the world is waiting for you and the power you possess.
Yeah, maybe just that could be something you guys do privately and the rest of us don't have to watch and puke. Maybe. Just a thought.
Latest question, what do you think of the atheist mega churches? I like the concept, just wish they weren't called a church. I rather like the term armory.
Blah, blah, blah.
Print back here, of course. Is that your favorite Van Gogh?
M&M's?
Say fuck on broadcast television. I don't see the big deal. Be saying fucking shit, and they're going to be fucking like out of here. I want to do a shout out as always, and this week, very long overdue shout out.
No thanks. Yeah. So interesting.
That was that's one way of putting it, I guess.
By the way, anyone in the chat, you try to tell me what videos to play and when to skip, I'm not gonna fucking listen to you. So save your fucking time.
Chat don't run the show, motherfucker. No, the chat don't run the show. Yeah.
So fuck off.
What if they point out a legitimate issue, though?
Fuck
like
'em.
an audio issue.
Oh, well, that's different.
Well, that's
Shut up,
then they
Scotty.
do run the show.
No, they
dance, monkey dance.
No, they don't run the
Shut up,
show.
Scotty.
They run everything. The Illuminati, man.
Quiet yourself. What's next?
All right, so several months ago, we played a video from a fan of AIU. We basically tore his video to shreds. We made fun of his shitty camera because he had like a pretty terrible camera in it.
What was the subject of that video?
Oh, how AIU's a nice guy and how he's not racist and shit like that.
Can I, before we even do this, can I just say to AIU that I don't program this show, so don't fucking use this as another example of the amazing atheist won't shut up about me. I'm just reacting to what Ben fucking plays.
Well, stop saying you're done with him and then paying attention to him again. I have no control over that.
No.
Very true.
Well, I didn't choose these videos.
Right, but you choose to tweet him, you choose to do all this
I
other
haven't
shit.
tweeted him in ages. I haven't tweeted him in, well, not ages, but ever since I told him I was done, I haven't tweeted him once.
No, he tweeted you, fuck you, and you responded to him again.
Oh, no, yeah, but after that.
Just stop, dude.
Yeah, next video.
All right, so I've had a talk with this guy recently. Obviously, we disagree on a lot of things, but we agree on this. So basically, he's a disenfranchised AIU fan now.
Oh, sweet.
Can't stand the guy. And get this. Once he started disagreeing with AIU blocked him and then sent all of his fans to harass him. And AIU's fans thought that was so funny.
I am shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
So I told him, since we were playing his video, I linked his channel in the description. His name's Wyatt, and here's his video. This video is directed more towards skullduggery, which is
AIU's bitch boy.
Yeah, basically his little lapdog.
Like I said, I didn't want to do this shit, but
there's another video that started.
Everyone says that.
Apparently, it's necessary. And
I don't want to do this, but I got it.
now I have to go in on what really is pissing me off even more than, you know, flagrant retarded comments made by people I respect, is those people's fucking pussy ass little fucking fanboys who have their lips firmly placed around Devin's little starfish, like playing it like it's a whistle. They're fucking absolutely obsessed. For some reason, they get it in their heads that Devin is like untouchable, and
it's right there in his name. He's
void of
unstoppable.
criticism.
Oh, Devin.
Which is absolutely fucking retarded.
How dare you say that?
He's absolutely
He's
a
beautiful
candidate
and
for
amazing.
criticism, just like anyone else in this fucking world.
Except for me.
People that criticize other people, like Devin, usually is going to get criticism back. If
No
you dish it
way.
out, you
You
have
don't
to get
say.
it back. I get criticism all the time. I deal with it all the fucking time. Yet Devin has been coasting through, getting no real valid criticism. Everyone that's gone after Devin has been a fucking absolute imbecile. Literally just absolute fucking morons.
Of course we disagree
None
with
of
that.
them have had anything relevant to say.
Yeah, so Wyatt, this is where I disagree with you. Just because you disagree with points that people have made doesn't mean that what they say isn't relevant.
I would say we made good points against him. I would say Creationist Cat made good points against him. I would say that guy with the terrible audio and the guy Fox Mask made good points against him. We saw we've seen several videos by people that made good points against Devin. So
now I'm posing
you
something
asked
relevant.
him.
And the thing that's pissing me off, skullduggery,
The first
you
real
fucking
criticism.
little punk, is that this little shithole sits there and kisses the ass of Devin every motherfucking day. Every single time he has anything to say, he tags Devin in it. Him and Devin are best friends.
Take me, Devin.
Basically, seriously, because he was the English guy in that video where
we played
him and the Canadian atheist. Man, I could tell just by that was the first time I had ever listened to this guy talk, and he was basically blowing Devin throughout the entire video. You know,
he's a fan.
You can hear Devin moaning in the background.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They hang out all the time online because that makes you good friends. So
I don't really
for
care
some
about that
reason
detail,
he thinks
whatever.
he like really knows Devin. They're like personal buddies that hang out all the time. They're
Me
always
and you.
together.
You and
Fuck,
me.
Skullduggery's just sitting with him constantly when he's making videos, helping Devin out. He's using his fucking intellect to really help Devin out with his, videos and content, with his ideas and shit. This fucking idiot just...
Skullduggery, that's like a word for lies and, like, bullshit, right? Isn't it?
I have no idea.
Or deception or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, something
follows
like that.
everything Devin does blindly. Whether Devin's wrong or not, Skullduggery thinks he's right.
Okay, it's a
Because he
psychopath,
doesn't
so
have
what?
any fucking legitimate thought of his own. He has absolutely nothing relevant to pose for anyone else.
I think everyone knows that about
All
him
he
now.
does is follow other people.
So far, this is all stuff we said before you, so...
Yeah, this, I mean,
We said all
we
this.
said this about...
Now it's true and relevant.
Well, we said this about him. Like, you kiss his ass, and, like, no matter what he does until he actually crosses you. And now you have a problem with him. So, but at least, unlike a lot of the other AIU fans that are just, like, followers, habitual followers, this guy, at least he finally broke away from it. He's made, like, 5 videos criticizing him.
He fell off of the AIU titty.
Yep.
And obsess over that. Every single time. I've been watching this for months. Trust me, I've been talking about this with so many people. We're all just like watching this shit going on, like, what the fuck? Unfortunately, everyone else is too chicken shit to actually come out and fucking say anything. No offense, everyone else, but...
I'm the only one with balls to talk about this, you guys. I mean,
yeah, just not true at all.
You're all a bunch of pussies that wouldn't say shit. Even though multiple people have said the same shit I'm saying right now.
There's tons of videos out there against AIU. This is totally false.
I am the only fucking one with balls enough to say anything. But I'm definitely not the only person who
He's talking
feels
about
this
among
way.
their little inner circle of fanboys.
Right.
Okay, sure.
Because I guess a lot of them... From what he said, there's a lot of people who take issue with, like, the fat shaming and the personal insults and that kind of stuff, but everyone is too afraid to say anything to AIU about it for some reason.
The second that they do, they're just blocked, and he's gonna throw a temper tantrum. You guys are aggressive.
Yeah, and to the...
You don't understand my vision.
To a lot of these people, this is like their social club that, that they hang out with and be social with other people.
Come be DP fans. You can say whatever you want and we won't kick you.
Didn't this only happen because AIU turned on this guy?
Yeah, I guess anytime anyone starts to criticize what AIU does, Skullduggery comes in and, like, busts it up. He'll explain it a little bit better.
Okay.
That I do. The jackass comments about fat people are absolutely unnecessary. There's literally absolutely no defense.
Let's not get
for
carried
that.
away
It's
here.
Absolutely unnecessary.
I mean, who cares? If AIU wants to make fun of fat fucks, let them make fun of fat fucks. Who cares? Plenty of people do that.
I think it's... I disagree in the sense that it doesn't bolster... He acts like it bolsters his argument.
Well, it doesn't. No, I mean...
But his fans look at it that way. Like, yeah, you showed him...
Well, I mean,
and then if you have a guy like this,
there's no way to control the perception.
But then if you have a guy like this that says that it's wrong to talk shit about people's appearance when you're arguing with them, they're like, well, you're pro-fat people then. You know what I mean?
Pro-fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro-fat.
No
You
fucking
encourage
reason
them to
talk
be
like
fat.
that or act like that whatsoever. Like you just fucking hate fat people. Putting in Nicole Arbor, which was a known video that absolutely everyone thinks is horrendous because it is horrendous. There's nothing funny about it. It's absolutely dog shit in every way. It's just hatred of fat people. And this is what he's
Cry me a river,
you
fat fucks.
Now,
go drink some more gravy.
Not a whole lot of people are catching on. Because this seems to be... Skullduggery has a fucking excuse for literally every single thing Devin does. As if he knows what Devin thinks in his own fucking mind.
Well, Devin is Jesus. If Devin said it, it must be true.
It's when Devin's penis pushes into Skullduggery's brain. There's like some sort of osmosis that happens.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
No one can have any criticism of Devin, master. Because Skullduggery's going to get butthurt, and he's going to tell you why you can't criticize Devin. Devin's always right. You can't criticize him. He's my hero. I talk to him every day. We're buddies. So you can't make fun of him.
Yeah, stop it.
I have a question. You know, AIU is always talking about all like the pussy he gets, and he's such this alpha male. Why does he spend all his time talking to some nerdy little British sycophant who's like, he's a genius. He's a fucking genius.
It's just his Make-A-Wish thing, you know. It's like he's making a wish come true.
Shouldn't he be off banging girls and not insulting people on Twitter all the time and shit? He must just fuck them really quick, you know. He must be like,
yeah, he's efficient.
Well, you know, he lacks the stamina.
In and out, one and done kind of guy, you know. Right.
Yeah, if anyone has like a picture of Skullduggery, you could like Photoshop him blowing Devin or something, and you could tweet that to them.
Is there even a picture of him out there?
I think there is one out there.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's fucking pathetic, dude. Everything about people like that, those fanboy types that just blindly follow people into the fucking slaughter. It's just ridiculous.
Did you just peel off his
Have
lips
a fucking
there?
mind of your own. Have your own opinions. When a bullshit idea comes out or something ridiculous is said, you should not be of the mindset that, well, you know, I like this guy, so, you know, I better not say anything. Fuck.
Another thing I don't understand is like when Devin was attacking black people who are a race and they're born with their skin that color no matter what, and there's nothing they could do about it. This guy was like,
this guy still holds those views.
Sure, he still does. But when he attacks fat people who have much more control over being fat than black people do over being black, this guy's like, that crossed the line. You crossed the line. I mean, I'm glad that these two are turning against each other, but as far as I'm concerned, this guy's still a piece of shit too.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, the major rift that happened between him and Devin was the gun thing.
Guns, right?
Yep.
Because Devin is,
he's like totally to the left.
No, he's like fucking hardcore, like ban all guns, only police should have guns, private citizens shouldn't have guns, the Second Amendment is bullshit. Like, you know, Devin really does have the position that conservatives pretend that most liberals have.
Right.
He really is the crazy anti-gun nut who thinks that we're going to somehow get rid of guns in America. And it's really just because he's personally a chicken shit who's afraid of guns.
That if you care about what he's doing and you care about him,
I don't.
You'll fucking say something, you chicken shit, because
it'd be pointless. We all know it's gonna happen.
That's what that shit is for. Criticism is to keep people honest. And put people on the same page with things. Okay, that's what criticism poses, especially when it's constructive criticism and it's legitimate criticism, not just, you know, slinging insults and hatred and...
You know, you were fine with that for so long that I find your ability to condemn it now ridiculous and retarded. You're a total hypocrite. Why don't you go...
I don't know.
You might as well just go make amends with Devin and go start sucking on his dick again, because that's about the level you're on.
I don't know if he was always okay with that, but he was okay with like racial profiling.
Yeah,
shit
so fuck
stuff
him.
like
fuck
that.
this piece of shit. You know,
yeah, it just strikes me as a
enemy of my enemy is not necessarily my friend.
Oh, absolutely not.
He just strikes me as being really butthurt that, you know, this shit happened with Devon, and now it's like, well, fuck you, Devon, we ain't friends no more. I'm gonna trash you on the internet.
If anything, he sounds jealous of Skullduggery, you know.
Which I could have Skullduggery's job.
Why doesn't Devin want to stick his dick in me?
I guess Skullduggery has a nicer ass.
I doubt that.
Well, you know, maybe he does, TJ.
Well,
I don't know. Scotty seemed pretty sure about that.
Yeah,
but now
I'm
he's like,
pretty
well, maybe. Like, I didn't see it, and like,
I know. I don't know. What you talk about, huh?
Let's move on.
All right. See, Scotty says move on. We'll move on. Chat says move on. Fuck you, chat.
Fuck you, chat.
In fact, the chat is closed now because you guys are assholes.
Fuck you, chat.
Fuck you, chat.
Chat is shit.
Crazy people. A running segment here on the Drunken Peasants.
I had a jump scare.
Podcast.
I thought I saw a matinee for a second.
Saw the matinee.
All right, so
situation.
Here's a video.
Oh, this is great. You guys are gonna love this shit. All right, guys, this is Onision.
And originally, this video was made by, I believe, Nate Talks to You. Are you familiar with that channel?
No.
Okay. Well, it was made by him.
Props where props are due.
Yep. So this is an exchange between Onision and his wife on Twitter, which I believe they live together, so I don't know why they had to have this conversation on Twitter.
Because they need to make a big public spectacle of themselves, of course.
Well, they need to do that.
All right, this is Onision talking to his own wife on Twitter, a public forum, and basically having an argument with her. And it's the most petty and ridiculous argument you've ever seen in your life. I want you all to know, by the way, that Onision has a child with this woman.
This is just typical Onision.
This is just more proof that
Onision, let me exploit any little petty fucking thing. Any little petty fucking situation. Let me exploit it.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Did Aaron Pauli just tweet me? Is this real life?
Glad you're... That's a guy in some band that she likes.
Sure.
And Onision's butthurt because she was happy about it.
Happy about it. He hates your husband.
He's from one.
Yeah, and it's basically you see here that Aaron Pauli has blocked Onision, as all reasonable people probably will.
Yeah, Aaron Pauli seems pretty reasonable to me.
One of my fave bands that I've seen play 3 times, so.
Cool, go marry him, bye.
I can't.
What? Cool, go marry him, bye. Fuck you, bitch.
That's such a fucking knee-jerk reaction to something so tame. I mean,
are you like a 12-year-old Onision? Like, go marry him, then we're done.
I mean, if there were like, if he like got onto her phone and saw like DMs between them, and they're like, "Oh my god, I really want you. I hate Onision."
Yeah,
then he'd have a reason to be pissed and be like, "Go, fine, go marry him then." You know, but that's not the case at all.
Be happy that someone from a band I like tweeted me. What?
No!
If someone doesn't like you, I don't like them. Clearly not the same for you. You are welcome to leave. Bye.
Bye, bitch.
Bye.
Yeah, wow.
Breaking up with you on Twitter because you
dropped the fucking mic.
You think you could just like some? You think you just be happy some fucking guy in some band retweeted you when he doesn't like me, the great Onision? Fuck you, bitch. Go marry him then, you fucking whore. You fucking whore. And I find it funny, she's getting, even though she's not nearly as famous as him, she's getting way more hearts on her posts. But the fact that anyone is giving him hearts, that there's like 52 hearts on these fucking posts.
Oh, those are like his total fucking sycophantic fanboys, just like our
what a piece
girls.
of shit do you have to be to actually
Onision is always right about everything.
Of him doing this. Approve of him having a big public argument with his wife on Twitter over the most petty shit imaginable and acting like an absolute fucking crybaby.
It seems like 52 people consistently do.
Like, yeah. Must be his little fangirls that want to be his next wife, you know? Now he'll marry me.
Finally.
First off, I didn't even know he blocked you. Second off, how does me liking someone's music affect literally anything?
You know now and you still do nothing.
Nothing.
You also said he's from one of my fan bands that I've seen play 3 times, so nice support.
No.
I don't see how me liking a band's music affects our relationship whatsoever. You don't like Ronnie Radke.
Why is everything a question for her? She ends a lot of things with question marks that just, you know, that don't belong.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
not a
listen
question.
to his music.
I wouldn't talk to someone who didn't like you. You're fangirling over someone who doesn't like me. It's a slap in the face.
He says, I wouldn't talk to someone who doesn't like you. You know, no, but what you would do is threaten to end the marriage because she was happy that someone retweeted her that happened to have blocked you. Probably didn't even know that, you know, you were seeing this girl or whatever. I mean...
It's petty. Who gives a shit? It's like nothing.
I mean, do you realize, like, that you come across as the most petty and ridiculous person in the history of the internet, which is quite an accomplishment?
I didn't know he blocked you until you tweeted me.
Shrugs. We are clearly different. I would have had your back no matter what. You argue
she doesn't have your back
stand
anymore.
by me like I would you.
I'm allowed to like someone's music. It doesn't mean I don't support you.
No debate of the music here. Just a person that doesn't like me tweeting you.
Everyone you know must also like me.
No loyalty.
This has zero to do with loyalty. I don't get notifications every time someone blocks you.
I wonder if they were in the same, like, building as this was happening, or...
Who knows?
You know... I hope they were at least in different locations as this was going on. Here's an idea, guys. Why don't you take this over to, like, text messages or a phone call...
Or in person.
Or anything that's not a public forum. There's absolutely no need for this to play out as public drama. I mean, you know, in point of fact, there's no reason for this to even be an issue for fucking Onision's retarded ass in the first place, but whatever.
She shows him no loyalty, TJ.
Where is your loyalty, woman?
1. Someone blocks
By the way,
you,
this
I
guy
tell
claims to be a
them
feminist.
fuck off. 2. Someone blocks me. You argue with me about it over countless tweets. Loyalty.
You're arguing with her. It takes two to tango,
music.
bitch.
That has nothing to do with...
I want to point out that these screenshots were obviously taken by Mr. Repsion just based on...
Onision's biggest fan.
That little scummy fuck.
Loyalty.
Fuck you,
I'm not
Repsion.
secretly talking them behind your back or something. Get out while you
are
can,
you?
sis.
Yeah, the last thing was someone else commenting, being like, "Get out while you can."
You know, she has a kid with him, so it might be pretty hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, she could divorce him, but he's always going to be the father of their kid, so...
Yeah, well, maybe she should use the inherent bias of the court system to make sure he has no rights. There's one... this is a case where it might come in handy.
I'm pretty sure in this relationship, he's the one that's bringing in, like, almost all the money, since we know he makes a lot of money online. So, I mean, even in that situation, I don't know. I mean, unless they can prove he's, like, abusive or something, I don't know if the court would totally take custody away from him.
It is abuse to live with Onision.
I mean...
I would just...
I'd imagine it'd be abuse.
All they have to do is show some of his videos, and the court will be like, all right, we can see your point. Not only that, not only are we going to allow you full rights, but we're going to sentence Onision to death. It'll go all the way to the Supreme Court, and they'll uphold the death sentence.
All right, here's the next video. It's Bernie Sanders followers, a special kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Hello and welcome to Common Sense TV. I'm your host.
Common
Dr.
Sense!
Common
Woo,
Sense.
that's my favorite kind of sense,
Make sure
man.
You go over and subscribe to The Truth, damn it. That's the station.
Do it,
That
guys.
the majority of our videos are being uploaded to now.
Oh, yeah. Go subscribe to that
I've been meaning to
shit.
address this. I've addressed it in passing. The Bernie Sanders.
This guy
and
is
his
so
supporters.
busy. This guy's so busy. He has no fucking spare time. He has to do this show, this Emmy award-winning show, from his car while he's driving.
He's a busy man, man.
Yep.
He's driving to go kick
Common
ass.
Sense TV.
Common Sense TV.
He's
like,
going to kick some Bernie Sanders ass.
you know when the best time to do a video is? When you're driving. That's just common sense.
Common Sense TV.
It's like a damn little cult. Most of Bernie Sanders' fan base is the baby boomers' children, or some business college professor who didn't get a job in real business, so he teaches college and indoctrinate these little naive children who go to college, 32 years old, still going to college, been in college 12, 13 years, ain't graduated out of college, and think Bernie Sanders.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, so he's saying it's people who are like 32 who've been in college for 12 years. Those are the people that support Bernie Sanders. That's
Who the fuck has been in college for 12
retarded.
years unless you're like a doctor or lawyer or something?
Yeah, are you a PhD or something? Like, come on.
If only PhDs were supporting Bernie Sanders.
What if Common Sense TV merged with God TV Radio?
Common Sense God TV Radio.
Greatest show of all time.
I can see it. Him and Brett sit down and have a discussion panel.
But they have to drive around while they do it.
I don't know if Brett can fit in that car.
Sanders is a hero. Reason you think Bernie Sanders is a hero because you ain't never accomplished anything. You never had to struggle and pay bills and not depend on mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders has admitted that he's a socialist. And some of the little jackasses have been wanting me to, they don't understand why I call him a socialist. He calls himself a socialist.
Yeah, he didn't admit he was a socialist. It wasn't like, guys, I have a dark secret. I'm a socialist.
Oh.
You know, the word socialism and socialists are not as demonized in other parts of the world as they are here.
No.
Yeah, and he's not like a pure socialist anyway. He's like a social democrat.
Right, he's a democratic socialist.
Right.
Jackass, thought you would know that since you following this insane mental escapee. It's freaking insane. I mean, he looks like a madman.
Okay.
So what does that have to do with his positions? He looks like a madman. You just can't just look at him. You can't trust him.
So, by what standard does he look insane? Does he look as insane as a fucking black guy wearing big ridiculous shades, drive around in his car, screaming at the top of his lungs, and a camera that he's holding up on his phone while he drives with one hand and endangers the lives of other people on the road? Does he look that insane, or is it a different kind of insane?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Wouldn't take advice from this bastard on how to get to the restroom, letting on to run the damn country. But Bernie Sanders...
why would you need someone's advice on how to get to the restroom?
Like he's saying, like maybe, let's say he goes into a restaurant, he doesn't know where the bathroom is, but he happens to see Bernie Sanders, who does know. It's like, I'm not going to ask Bernie, I'm just going to wander around like a fucking idiot until I find it on my own.
Fan base is cultic. These baby boomers' children who've been living off mommy and daddy with a spoon in their mouth all their life, and they're trying to pretend as if they're relevant. Saying Bernie Sanders is smart because he wants to give everybody free college. Who's going to pay for your free college? Because you're not going to get...
Wall Street. The plan is to put taxes on Wall Street speculation to pay for students to go to college for free.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the plan. That's who. He's already said who.
There are countries out there that pay students to go to college.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, I know we have a much larger country than a lot of those other countries that do that, but, you know, the cost of college goes up twice a year, every year. So, I mean, there has to be a way to either put a cap on that or make it easier for people to pay for it.
Well, also, they're not spending trillions of dollars on the military as well.
Well,
on their militaries. Their military budgets are much smaller than ours.
The money from the...
Well, we need to be safe.
Supposedly the rich. Because if they ain't rich, they know to hide their monies overseas. So you're not getting that damn money, so you're going to end up taking money from the taxpayers. Because you couldn't go get a job, or you couldn't succeed, you want to take money from the taxpayers.
He also wants to close the corporate tax
loopholes. A bunch of y'all going to college. And after you get out of college, you still not going to get a damn job. You know why? Once you take something that's relevant, going to be around, that's going to be productive. As opposed to just taking a college course so you can say you went to college. A professional college goer. That's what's wrong with our society. No, people 32 years old still in college.
That's what's wrong with our society. People going to college.
People getting more educated is a terrible thing.
There's nothing worse for America than people getting educated in colleges, man.
Also, a lot of people just don't go to college when they're 18. I mean, sure, that's the majority, but plenty of people decide they're 30 years old and like, oh, their job is gone. Like, oh, I need to go back to school, or they work until they're that age and they say, oh, you know, I want to go back to college. It's not totally unheard of.
The biggest problem isn't college itself. It's the way these colleges try to turn profits, you know, every semester. And then people get degrees that they can't find jobs with, and they end up paying for a degree that they never end up using.
And the cost of education just goes up and up and up
and books,
and up and up and up.
You know, books used to be more expensive or they had an excuse for books being more expensive when they actually had to print them and ship them. But now books can just be sent digitally anywhere.
Well, yeah.
There's no excuse for these books being so expensive. I know we've touched on that before.
Yeah, we're at the point with among personal debt. I mean, college education, you know, is number 2 behind a mortgage.
His major 5, 6 different times. His mom and dad saying how smart he is. Fool 32. Been in college since he was 18. How smart can he really be? This is the Bernie Sanders crowd who sit around and go in these little chat rooms, drink Dr. Pepper and Butterfingers all day long.
What?
They drink Butterfingers and Dr. Pepper all day long? Man, that's strange.
Bernie Sanders has a really specific demographic of 32-year-olds who've been going to college for 12 years, and they sit around in chat rooms and eat Butterfingers and drink Dr. Pepper. That's the Bernie Sanders demographic.
I never would have suspected it, man.
I mean,
never would have thought it.
I'm sorry. Can I just clarify one thing? What? Like, what are you fucking talking about? That'd be like, I mean, like, anybody could make up some random shit like this. You know, the main Donald Trump supporters are 45-year-old plumbers who spend all their free time playing Dungeons and Dragons and drinking strawberry Fanta through bendy straws.
Strawberry Fanta.
That's the average Trump fucking supporter, and we need to stop those people. Like, you just took a random series of criteria, mixed them together, and said, that's the Bernie Sanders supporter.
It's not even that bad. Dr. Pepper and Butterfingers, like, who gives a fuck?
It's the end of the world.
Overly educated people sitting around in chat rooms eating Butterfingers and drinking Dr. Pepper. That's like truly...
That sounds like someone just like put like a bunch of scenarios and like shuffled the deck and was like, all right, what is this? A bunch of people sitting in a chat room. All right, next card, eating Butterfingers. Next card, drinking Dr. Pepper. It's like, what? Just random bullshit.
Has nothing to do with anything.
Spend 2 days writing one particular blog post, and they say they punctuated everything good. If I spend that much damn time, we can get a 12-year-old to do it. But what's funny with these Bernie Sanders crowd is that when you look at Bernie Sanders talk, you can tell this man is a socialist is really in bed with a communist. They're the same. When you listen to Bernie Sanders talk about how great the Nordic countries are, this is like the Finlands and the Icelands and the Denmark.
Is there more than one Finland that I'm not aware of?
Finland.
Several Finlands.
And Iceland
the Finlands.
And
the
is
Iceland.
number
Denmarks.
1 and 2 in antidepressant drugs. Everybody seems to think they have it, but they always depress you, ask me. Why isn't anybody trying to escape to go to those countries if they're so wonderful?
I don't know if you're aware, there's like this big refugee thing going on right now.
You mean the refugees that are specifically fleeing to countries like that? Are you talking about those people?
Matter of fact, Bernie Sanders, I believe Venezuela is a socialist country too. They ran that damn thing in the ground, taken from the rich, ran the damn country in the ground. Because most of these bastards
way
ain't
more
succeeded
complex
because
than that.
they don't know how to succeed. All they want to do is sit around and mooch off their parents and mooch off others. What makes Bernie Sanders dangerous, not that he's going to win the election, what makes him dangerous is some of these jackasses were so willing to follow a socialist, not even realizing what socialism really is. It's groupthink. That nobody's really individual.
That's not true.
It takes the village.
Nope.
That's not Bernie Sanders' position at all.
And that's not socialism. This is another person that doesn't know the difference between socialism and communism.
He's a communist, Ben. He's a damn dirty commie.
This is sort of what Barack Obama talks about. Bernie Sanders just comes out and says he's a socialist.
Obama's been president for 8 years. Why don't we have any type of actual socialism?
I would guarantee in his mind we do.
Like what?
I have no idea.
What is it?
I mean, I would say that there are things about America that are socialist.
Yeah, there's already
right, but what did Barack Obama make that's socialist?
Oh.
I guess he would probably cite Obamacare. That's not really.
Yeah, a mandate to buy private insurance is socialism.
That's not socialism.
That would be probably his only example that you could come up with. I mean, without actually talking to him, I don't know.
Which means he's really a communist also. But his followers...
Oh, no, Obama's not even a socialist. He's a communist.
Oh, yeah, they'd love to say that. The hardcore conservatives all say Obama's a communist.
If Obama's a communist, why is he such a whore that bends over for Wall Street and fucking sucks the dick of moneyed interests?
He's a subtle communist, TJ.
Oh, okay.
Some of the most naive, insane individuals you ever want to see.
Individuals.
I feel
They'll
exactly the same about you.
If somebody got to keep telling you how smart they are, they're probably not that damn smart. Just telling me for just prove it. Present your argument. If you support
Present
Bernie
yours,
Sanders and you don't know he's
motherfucker.
a socialist and a communist, that proves how stupid you are right there. He calls himself
No, anyone who thinks he is a communist is actually stupid. Anyone who thinks that socialist and communist are the same thing is actually stupid.
a socialist. Every chance he gets. Most of these professors who go teach at college, who couldn't really work in the real fields, they're professional college teachers, especially when it comes to business degrees. They're teaching that. They never owned a business. Most of them haven't. Most of them...
What is his obsession with business degrees? Like, I feel like a lot of these guys, they like bring shit from their personal life
right
into this. Like, he knows someone who's this 32-year-old with a fucking who's been going to college for 12 years.
He likes
something with
Dr.
a business
Pepper.
degree and likes Dr. Pepper and eats Butterfingers, and he's just taking that one person he knows and extrapolating. They're all like that, you know, all of them. That's not just this one person I know or met. That's all these Bernie Sanders supporters. That's what they're like. And even if that was what they were like, how is that some sort of horrible fucking person who is going to college and eats Butterfingers and drinks Dr. Pepper and hangs out in chat rooms? Like,
it scares me.
What's the fucking smoking gun of like, oh my god, these people are horrible?
Doesn't that keep you up at night, TJ, thinking about people like that? Like, what is that guy doing in that chat room right now?
Oh, what if someday the 32-year-old Butterfinger Dr. Pepper eating college people rule the world? Then what?
No.
Communism everywhere.
Bernie Sanders, he's crazy.
Never hired or built a business from the ground. The good talkers, though, getting these little naive baby boomers' children all worked up. These little spoiled brats who mama and daddy bought them every damn thing. Still living off mama and daddy. Probably never even bought a spare tire for their vehicle. Then they want to tell how hard they got it. This is the Bernie Sanders crowd. They're mentally challenged. Because you can see how smart
irony
you is all you day. If you can't take care of yourself, you ain't that damn smart. But the Bernie Sanders crowd do the same thing. They sit around and want to critique everything somebody else is doing. They don't really accomplish or do anything. They go to college all their damn life, talk about how smart they are, but never really get a damn job.
So I just want to point out, I'm 30, not 32. I probably haven't eaten a Butterfinger in years. I probably have drinking some Dr. Pepper recently. Drank, whatever. And I've never been to college. So I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter.
You're even worse.
And, you know.
And an atheist.
Not only that, I haven't been on the mommy and daddy dole for quite the better part of, I don't know, a decade or two. Not two, but a decade or so.
3 decades. TJ's never even asked for a cent.
Never one fucking penny.
And when they finally graduate from college, they got a worthless degree that can't even get a damn job with it. Should have investigated that. You was wasting your time telling how wonderful Bernie Sanders was. You wasted your time talking about how smart you was. You get a worthless 4-year degree that they don't even have.
12 year?
It was obsolete when you actually started taking the course. But you didn't take it because it made you feel good. That's how stupid some of these little cultic Bernie Sanders fans are. I despise you little bastards. I really do.
I despise that you actually did something you wanted to do with your life, unlike me. That's what it sounds like to me. He's like upset that they actually do what they want.
And then wants to tell you it's somebody else's fault because they ain't accomplished a damn thing. Stop living off your mama and daddy. Go get a damn job. You got the same. Bernie Sanders has the same policy as Barack Obama. He tries socialism and communism. How has it worked? Get the hell out the way and let people produce. Stop the corrupt government. That's the problem is the government is corrupt. Bernie Sanders wants to take and give more
more of the same.
More power to the government. Because that's what he's doing. Trying to target individuals who become wealthy. What you want, the government manage it? Name me one thing.
Why does this guy care? He's obviously not wealthy. That doesn't look like a luxury car he's driving.
It's hard to say from the inside, but
And the government
it looks
has
like a truck
managed
to me.
That was good. You little dumb that bastards need to open up your eyes and try to think. Get your head out your damn assholes. Freaking little morons.
All right, thanks, buddy.
I'm sure if this guy, When he gets older, if there's Social Security, he's like, I don't want that shit.
I don't need that shit.
And what about Medicare? I don't want that shit either. See, any government programs that help him, he's just going to go, no, I don't want those. I don't care if I paid into them. I don't want it.
I don't need that shit.
Because the government's never done
I don't need
anything
to live off
useful
no
for
government
me, ever.
tit. I don't drink no Dr. Pepper. I don't need no goddamn Butterfinger.
Yeah, he doesn't need that.
Go ahead and lay your finger on my Butterfinger, because I don't give a fuck. I ain't even eat that shit. You Bernie Sanders retards piss me the fuck off, bitch.
Well, you've been in college for 12 years, TJ, so what do you know?
I don't know. I don't know what I know, motherfucker.
All right, here's a feminism video.
Oh boy.
It's trans issues, pronouns, and gendering people.
Okay.
Yeah, TJ.
Wife, what?
Okay, it's quite a
TJ.
topical issue recently, so we
Scotty.
need to fucking talk about pronouns. Pronouns
Yes,
are words which
finally.
take the space of a noun. So instead of saying the clunky sentence, Holly went to the shop and Holly bought a can of drink, you could say, Holly went to the shop and they bought a can of drink. You would say...
What? That doesn't make sense. Makes it sound like there's Holly has multiple personality
Right,
disorder.
they indicates more than one person.
They did it.
Say they, because I use they, them pronouns. Let's get down to the fucking basics.
All right.
You use the pronouns that someone wants you to use that correspond with the gender
Okay.
they identify as.
Sure.
I'm personally a gender. I use they, them pronouns. To you,
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, do whatever you like. I'll do whatever I like. How about that?
You know, you want to come up with something better than they, them, because those are already being used. You can't just steal those. Those are already used for plural, like a plural pronoun, like when multiple people do
This is
something.
all to avoid some potential situation which someone could possibly be offended. It's so stupid.
I mean, it's like TJ, Scotty, and Ben went to the store and they bought a 20-inch dildo.
What is your obsession with that, TJ?
We're doing 20-inch dildo tonight.
How about you went by your fucking self and bought a 20-inch dildo, motherfucker?
Yeah, leave us out of this.
No, the three of us went and
Isn't
bought
that fucked
together.
up how he included us in that?
What the fuck?
I mean,
TJ?
like, what kind of sick and twisted
fucking piece
fantasy
of shit,
you had?
TJ.
For the sake of they.
And how many heads did the dildo have?
He
almost said 3. He almost said 3.
I was gonna say
I know.
13, but
it's like a
that makes
hydra.
sense.
It's like it's like the boomerang. You know, the boomerangs with like 3 wings on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
pronouns for me is just fucking wrong. They them isn't my preferred pronouns. They are my pronouns. If you're not using them, you're just referring to me incorrectly. You wouldn't refer to the cis guy you went to high school with as she, because obviously he doesn't use she, her, hers pronouns.
Okay.
And just as using the wrong pronouns for
Yeah, but
Okay, but the
you
issue
can't-
here is
you can't have them and they. You got to come up with something else.
Okay, but the issue is also is even if you want to be referred to that way, if someone says she to you, all you have to say is, "Oh, please call me this." That's it. You don't need to go on some fucking long diatribe about how offended you are. Like, how dare you, you fucking monster! You need to do everything the way I do it.
someone who is cis, meaning cisgender, meaning identifying with the gender they were assigned at birth as, is offensive. It is even more offensive.
Instead of he or she or them and they, you can have my name. Your fucking it could be T and J. T can be for the, or you know, she or he or whatever, and then the J could be for the theys and shit. You know, why not?
Offensive to transgender people. But why would it be more offensive? Because it's a fucking act of aggression and disrespect against someone who.
It's not an act of aggression.
That's so stupid. It's now we're getting into microaggression and aggression. You're being aggressive with your language, and we need to safe spaces everywhere. And I'm so scared. You can't offend anyone, and we always need to think about how we could offend someone else. No, that's stupid. People have free
The
speech.
way that other people talk is deeply of my concern.
And if it really offends you, then why don't you just talk to the person and say, I don't want to be referred to this way. And if they refuse, then that's on them, and that's on you.
You need to tell them to go fuck themselves, man.
Just be like, okay, then you're an asshole. You know, end the interaction with that person.
Probably already endures multiple acts of erasure, disrespect, and violence in their everyday life just because of how they identify and live. Okay? It's not okay. Let's take Caitlyn Jenner, for example, who recently just came out as trans and was on the cover of Vanity Fair, as everyone probably knows, because it's a very hot topic right now.
Who? Caitlyn what now?
I'm drawing
To
a blank.
refer to Caitlyn as anything other than she, her, herself is wrong, even if you're referring to her 20, 30 years ago.
No.
She is a she.
Wrong.
She identifies
No.
as a she.
Sorry.
She's always been a she.
No. Currently identifies as a she, identified as a man 20, 30 years ago.
I would say either is acceptable.
Competed as a man in the Olympics.
Man. Yeah, I mean, it seems fair to say in the past they had this identity and then the identity changed.
She is just only now allowed to actually identify and present that way. Misgendering people through the implied gender of pronouns can be extremely hurtful and cause extreme gender dysphoria in people. And guess what? You don't know if someone you have just met might be trans, might just use different pronouns, or might experience gender dysphoria. You don't know that.
Anyone could do that with anything. I could say it offends me if you do this, or if it does that. It doesn't matter what you want. You can select any arbitrary thing with greeting people. Like when people say hello, that really triggers me and offends me because one time I said hello to someone and they hit me. So please refrain from saying hello in my presence.
Yeah, I mean, like...
It's hurtful and aggressive towards me.
I feel like if you have some sort of special need that other people need to meet, then the onus is on you to communicate that. It's not... The onus isn't on them to make sure to police their language because, 0.3% of the population is transgender and, I can't assume that just because the vast majority of people are cisgender, that means everyone is, so I better not use any male or female pronouns because if I do, that could be a hurtful microaggression that might send her or him or whatever they are spiraling into a fucking depression and, then I'm part of the problem. Yes. Part of the patriarchy, part of the systemic oppression of all peoples. Why? That's just such a crazy overreaction.
But just so you know, you definitely are. You are the problem, TJ.
This day really pisses me off, though.
So, guess what you do to avoid gendering them? You use neutral pronouns. Wow, who would have thunk it?
Hey, you know what? TJ,
yeah,
you need to start referring to her as they. You don't know. She could be. Oh, they could be trans.
Wow,
see, I'm
man.
already doing it.
Microaggression.
I know.
Man.
What's wrong with me?
It already said.
No, they.
What?
Not it.
It.
That's even worse.
I'm going with it.
That's even worse.
You can't do they. I don't know what else to say.
So now they is an object to you, TJ.
All people are objects to me. But yeah, I don't know.
You're disgusting.
They are
offended.
Agender.
They are offended, TJ.
I don't know. I don't like this agender shit. I feel like you gotta pick a side, man. Fucking, figure out what you are.
I know that you feel the same way about asexual.
I do. I don't like this middle ground,
But I don't know about. I don't think asexual is like a middle ground. I think it's just people who are just not interested in sex at all.
Yeah, and I'm prejudiced against them. I don't like them.
I'm fine with that. If someone just has no sexual desire, then whatever.
Yeah, that disgusts me.
Pronouns which are considered neutral are they, them, their, themselves. Before you jump in with, but them is plural. You use that to refer to more than one person.
I already jumped in with that.
You don't always. It can also be singular. Fucking ask a linguist. You're wrong. You probably already use they, them as a singular pronoun. You just don't realize it. Imagine your friend just got off the phone with a doctor and you don't know who their doctor is. Mm-hmm. You would say, oh no, what did they say? There we go. You just used.
But they might encompass the entire doctor's office, too.
Right. If I'm referring to the doctor's office, the individual that I'm talking to that represents the doctor's office is still part of they, the collective doctor's office.
Right.
So singularly. Things not to do that goddamn S-he, she, he thing. That's just silly and incorrect and offensive. Or use it. Some people might use it pronouns. But normally it's considered extremely dehumanizing and really...
but you could say that you're the evil clown from Stephen King's It,
Tim Curry.
You could be Pennywise.
Pennywise the clown.
Maybe you're clown gender.
Really awful, because guess what? People aren't objects. Now
actually are. If you look at the definition of object, people definitely qualify as objects. Sorry.
You might be going, oh, but if I'm supposed to not gender people, how do I know what gender they are and how to refer to them? Guess what? You ask them. Don't just say, are you a boy or a girl? Because some people are neither, and also that might be none of your fucking business. But you can start out by saying, Hi.
So there's
sorry,
no
what
way to
pronoun?
win. You have to go down the specific narrative and the specific path and do everything you say.
It's policing language.
You know, fuck you.
I'm just gonna call people what they look like, and if they correct me, that's on them.
Yeah.
And if I actually have to deal, or if I meet an agender person and have to deal with them on some sort of regular basis, I'm sure we could work something out about the pronouns. But I'm not just going to assume that I don't know anyone's gender until they tell me. That's stupid. I'm not going to do it. Go fuck yourself. The end.
All right. Here is someone complaining about the liberal agenda in comic books.
Oh my
something
God,
similar.
so fucking important.
I know.
Hey, comic book fans, I reckon it won't be long before Marvel Comics is called Marvelous Comics, and DC Comics is going to be called LGBT DC Comics.
Huh?
So funny.
Why don't you just play the drums and stop talking or something?
It's the world's first black neo-Nazi.
I think with that propaganda.
Look at this. Look how force. You don't have to put that much force into the remote. You just press the button and things change.
Look at all the people behind him. Is that Chris Matthews?
I see Chris Matthews, Michael Moore, Janine Garofalo, and Whoopi Goldberg.
I mean, Chris Matthews is really not that liberal. He's
more of a Hillary shill.
Yeah, he's like a mainstream establishment Democrat. Janine Garofalo's kind of an annoying bitch, but whatever. Who even cares? Michael Moore, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's a pretty good filmmaker. Whoopi Goldberg, pretty funny usually, or at least she was. I don't know. I don't watch her ever since she went on The View and shit. But
yeah, she's actually the only tolerable one on The View.
Yeah, I like Whoopi. So
yeah.
He's pissed. Fuck the TV. We've seen this guy.
Yeah, we have before. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah,
I'm
bitch.
awesome,
I'm fucking cool. Look at me. Zonation.
One of the things that defined being a superhero was the ability to be catalytic. The superhero is supposed to go into an environment and not be swayed by other influences and change or eliminate what was deviant that was causing chaos to the rest of the environment rather than the
that's a really strange explanation of a superhero. Does anyone else find that really a bizarre way to define what a superhero does?
Yeah.
I thought a superhero was someone with magical powers or exceptional abilities that stopped and prevented crimes. That was kind of my definition. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but okay.
Superhero letting the agents of deviance change him or her. Well, that's exactly what's happening to the comic book superheroes. They're being changed to reflect deviance now.
Really?
Now, of course, the liberal mind thinks that being a superhero is being open-minded and able to change.
No, that's not. No one thinks that. Everyone knows a superhero is someone who dresses up in a fucking costume and has superpowers or exceptional abilities, and they fight fucking crimes. And if you actually read comics, they have distinct different personalities. They even have different politics. There's definitely superheroes who have a more conservative bent, or who have a more liberal bent, or who have a more apolitical bent, or lack of bent in that case.
It's not heroic to open your mind to deviance and allow yourself to be changed into a deviant from the balance of freedom.
What are you talking about?
That's not heroic. All you're doing is opening your mind to be changed from the Justice League to the Legion of Doom.
Wow. Yeah. He must be talking. This must be some pretty serious shit that happened. Did Superman rape a kid or something? What the fuck has happened
Superman
here?
fly down, just kill a bunch of fucking conservatives.
Batman fucking punched an old lady down the stairs and then walked down and pissed in her fucking face or something. What the fuck is what happened that has so ruined superheroes?
In order for evil to work, evil always says you have to be open-minded to it. Good doesn't try to sell you good by using the selling point of being open-minded.
Yeah, open-mindedness, that's the root of all evil, for sure.
It is.
I love how he's saying this, too. Basically admitting that he is in no way open-minded.
Why would
Being a closed-minded moron, that's good. Being open-minded, that's the path to evil.
It is.
Hitler was open-minded.
Look, TJ, if you're open-minded, then you're exposed to different and bad ideas, and then when you start accepting bad ideas, you become evil.
You know, Hitler was a good little boy, but then he opened up his mind, and someone told him, Hitler, you better be killing them Jews. And Hitler's like, you know what, I'm open-minded, so I'm open-minded to what you saying, so I'm gonna kill the Jews. And that's how we got Hitler, motherfucker.
That is.
Evil
True story.
does. Evil is dependent on the open-minded selling point to get you to be a deviant. How was the devil able to sucker Adam and Eve into bringing death into the world?
Didn't happen.
It never happened. It's a fucking story.
And even if it did happen, God allowed it.
Yeah.
Basically, by telling them to be open-minded. Satan accused God of limiting Eve and suckered Eve into opening her mind into thinking she was entitled to know as much as God. And Adam, who followed along in thinking he was being open-minded, certainly was no superhero that day.
I thought he was tricked in eating the fruit.
I mean, yeah, in a way.
So for those of you who think it's heroic to see superheroes who are supposed to be as strong as steel get gender bent like rubber...
Yeah, because wearing tights with your underwear on the outside, you know, totally masculine.
You know, this reminds me of the formation of the Comics Code Authority, where they used to say that the gap between Robin's thighs was going to entice children to become homosexuals.
Robin had the thigh gap.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty much missing the...
Didn't even address the previous issue. What has happened?
He did.
What are you talking about?
Look, TJ, he explained it.
You've given no examples of this.
If you are open-minded, you're evil. You're going to become evil.
Okay.
Is black now. I personally don't care what color Captain America is, as long as Captain America stands for American values. But not only are they changing the color of Captain America, they're changing the values of Captain America to be corrosive to all things American, and move America more and more towards becoming no more. So Captain America has been made to be black for the...
No one said shit when they made Nick Fury black. No one said...
I mean, I know that it happened in the comics before.
Right.
But, you know, when you got Samuel L. Jackson, people accept shit, you know.
Wrong reasons. It's a hell...
Said shit about that.
Well, they had Samuel L. Jackson, so. I mean, I know that it happened in the comics before.
Right.
But, you know, when you got Samuel L. Jackson, people accept shit, you know.
Wrong reasons. It's a hell-bound display of false good intentions. It's a race-baiting effort sold under the rouge of multiculturalism and feel-goodism. And it's just more racial strife milking for publicity that translates into revenue.
How?
Liberals don't want the race issue to die because it equals money and votes.
All anyone did was make Captain America black. It's not even like they made an existing character black all of a sudden. Like they made a new Captain America, a totally new character who's black.
That happened with Iron Man years ago with War Machine.
And we know Republicans have never milked issues to death, like, abortion, the military, gay marriage. I mean, they've never just used those for political purposes at all. Never once has that happened.
Nope.
So in light of Captain America being made to be black for their purpose, I don't agree. Leave Captain America alone. Because I am so sick of this insecurity among people where they insist in co-opting a comic book hero's image to shape it to suit their ethnocentrism, to give them a false sense of self-esteem with an image. That's idolatry. I don't need Captain America to be black to feel good about myself any more than I need
said you did, motherfucker. You haven't even explained anything that's happened. The only substantive thing you've mentioned so far is that they made Captain America black. Like... What sort... I mean, I thought you were going to talk about some liberal agenda unfolding in comics. Where is that discussion? You haven't even fucking made your point. You're basically insinuating that exists, but you're showing no examples of it whatsoever.
President to be black to feel good about myself. A superhero's character should speak enough volumes. What is this sick... weak dependency where someone else has to be a certain skin color for you to feel good about yourself? You want to feel good about yourself? Then you get out there and you help somebody at your own expense.
This is fiction, dude.
Not only that, it's comic books. I mean, like, this is like This is not even a mainstream art form.
I don't think they were sitting down like, hey, what can we do to make black people feel better? Let's make Captain America black. That's, I mean, like, you're reading way too far into this, man.
Now, maybe if they'd made Captain America like a transgender, transhumanist, secular humanist, ACLU warrior or something, like, I could see your point, but just black. It's not really much of a change.
Yeah, and it's not the original. It's not Steve Rogers, right? It's a different character.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. So
it's not like Steve Rogers all of a sudden had some recessive African gene that just came out all of a sudden.
Turns out I'm black, guys.
Sacrifice to do it. If more of you would, then society would see more of you doing it in reality, rather than letting some fictitious representative do it on your behalf and expecting that somehow you're gonna be respected because of what a fictitious character did.
All right, people are asking for a screenshot of this asshole. So
literally, no one has that expectation. This is a good screenshot.
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped it here.
There you go.
Yep. There you go.
Have fun,
Have
guys.
at it. I'm sure he has a Twitter or something like that.
Yeah, you know, pjtv.com. He's a real genius.
Him and the last guy from the last video should team up.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow. Lastly, this big deal about Captain America, who is now black,
it's not a big deal.
Thor, who is now a white woman, just goes to show how bigoted the so-called liberal progressives are. It's 2015 and they still treat the race issue like guess who's coming to dinner. People of different races fall in love, so what? They're men and they're women, it's normal. Only Democrats treat it like it isn't. And they're the culprits of fueling the race issue and keep pushing problematic propaganda and making sure that we see each other differently just so they can say, look how open-minded we are and we're brave enough to embrace the strangeness that we've promoted and then have the strangeness kiss.
What?
So
recap this too.
We're now into wild conspiracy territory.
I mean, what the fuck is he talking about?
I mean, in the original comic book story of Thor, there was a guy who found the hammer of Thor and was imbued with the power of Thor.
There was actually a point where there was like I don't know if it was a one shot or if it was a alternate timeline or whatever, but there was like a lizard person who was Thor at one point.
A reptilian.
Yeah, you know, who gives a shit? Like, if you don't like it, don't read it. Most people don't read comics anyway. I mean, and I don't think anyone has. I've never heard of anyone having this weird liberal expectation, like Captain America's black now, so now we can feel good about that because he's black.
No,
I mean, it's just like you're just retarded. You're reading way too much into things, and you haven't actually discussed any real substantive changes that have happened in these comics that give them this so-called liberal bent. You've pointed to exactly, in your entire fucking huge raving rant, you've pointed to exactly two facts. One, Captain America's black now. Two, Thor's a woman now. And that's all you got. And that's
they kissed.
Nothing.
And for some reason, that's weird. I mean...
Did they kiss? I don't know. I don't care. Let them kiss.
No, I mean... would he have felt better if Thor would have remained a man and Black Captain America and Thor kissed each other? Would that be better?
That's what he's pissed about. He's pissed that they missed that opportunity, I'm sure. Yeah, fuck this guy.
Yep. All right, next one's called Weaponized Words.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Back in 1902, there was an American man by the name of Richard Henry Pratt.
Okay.
This man created a word in 1902, and that word was racist.
Racist.
The reason that Mr. Pratt invented this word is because he was an assimilationist. He believed that Native American culture had to be destroyed and that Native American people had to be brought into Western culture, dressed up like Westerners, and transformed into Westerners. He was one of the first egalitarians, so to speak. And he's actually quoted as having said,
That doesn't sound egalitarian at all to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Must kill the Indian man. Now, what he actually meant by this is that we must kill the Indian culture. He wanted to destroy the Indian culture and bring all Indians into American Western culture. And him, along with others, were instrumental in the success of this.
I wouldn't say it was that successful, considering that tons of Indians still live on reservations.
Now, little did he probably realize at the time what he was actually doing is covering a penguin in duck feathers and then telling it to fly. But that is the origin of that word.
1902.
Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because the left today are obsessed with what I call weaponized words.
Okay.
The reason they use weaponized words is because they work. They are words of fear and intimidation, which produce results. The second one, which is very much popular today,
sexist.
You can hear it anywhere and everywhere, is the word sexist. It was coined in 1968 by a women's rights magazine. And if you know anything about the 60s, you'll know that women's liberation and rights movements at that time really started to go crazy. A very young word, though, and for the most part only exists in Western culture and Western language. If you asked a Japanese person or an Arabic person in their own language, what does the word sexist mean? They probably wouldn't know. Now, the next word, very much employed often by the left wing, is the most devious in its origins.
Homophobe.
It is the word homophobe. Now, guess where?
So
I don't believe all three of those words. I don't think homophobe necessarily fits.
I mean, it's so obvious where this guy's going with this. You know, look, they invented these words so they could, you know, use them as weapons against people like me. It's like, no, you just resent the fact that you're probably rightly called these words. I mean, I don't know much about you, but just from the vibe I'm getting now, you're probably rightly identified as these things, and then you can't take it, and your butt hurts, so you gotta put together your little half-ass etymology lesson and talk about, you know, the word racist wasn't even around until 1902.
He does have a whiteboard, though, so giving him a lot more
that
credibility.
does give him more credibility, you know, because whiteboards, man.
Where this word came from. In 1969,
Woo, 69!
there was a porn magazine. I think it still does exist. Spreading itself throughout America, Australia, and other countries. An international porn magazine called Screw.
Neat.
Now, in 1969, I think it was a May edition of this magazine, they started to use the word homophobe, the pornographers behind this magazine. The reason for this is because they wanted to create a new market of homosexual porn. But the problem they faced was that all of the porn stars and actors in the porn industry at that time didn't want to do homosexual scenes.
Oh my
God. It was
God.
very difficult to find a sufficient number of actors to do the scenes. And so within the porn industry, this word started to become dominant. Any porn actor or actress who didn't want to do homosexual scenes was...
Okay, so what he's saying is that the porn industry created the term homophobe to basically shame straight porn actors into doing gay scenes.
Yes.
Evidence.
Branded a homophobe. And
oh my goodness.
After a little bit of time, it started to work. And as of this time, a homosexual porn market was successfully created. And that is literally the origins of that word.
Okay.
Look it up for yourself if you don't believe me.
All right.
Last but not least is the word we're all familiar with, Islamophobe, which is absolutely in the same category as these other words. It can be used against anybody who points out basic realities of the Islamic faith.
Yeah.
Its coinage is probably very
He doesn't even know.
I wouldn't use it to define people who point out basic realities. I would use it to define someone who has an irrational fear of anyone who happens to be Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's my definition of that.
He happens to be black.
I mean, you know, people are all going to use words by their own definitions and in their own ways and all that stuff. And, you know, when it comes to words like racist and sexist, I have a disagreement with a lot of people about how those words should be used. Like the SJW types say, well, racism and sexism have to be institutional racism or sexism, or they don't really count. I don't believe that. So I mean, there's differences of opinions about how these words should be used and stuff like that. As for the word Islamophobe, I'm kind of with Ben, where you know, I don't think it's necessary. There's necessarily anything wrong with the word.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was
like used to silence people who are just critical of the doctrine of Islam,
if someone said, you know, the 9/11 hijackers were all Muslims and they did it because of their Muslim ideology, I'd be like, you're right. I wouldn't say you're an Islamophobe, you know. But if someone was like, look at that Muslim over there, he's got to be a terrorist.
Yeah, I can't believe these fucking towel heads moving in across
How do you
the
guys
street.
know he's not a terrorist?
Probably a bunch of terrorists. I would say that person is an Islamophobe.
No, they're not, TJ. You're a fool. You don't know. Can you just prove that, TJ? I mean, can you prove they're not a terrorist?
Yeah.
How?
It occurred very
I don't
recently.
know.
It's only a very young word. In the last few years, it's become paramount in politics. But all of these words are part of a fear campaign.
Fear.
None of them represent love or tolerance. All in their methodical basis.
None of them purport to represent love or tolerance.
Yeah, for some reason, those are the arbitrary standards that you need to have with words.
Most words don't. You know what words represent love and tolerance? Love and tolerance. Yeah. Those are the words that represent love and tolerance. No other words need to do it.
All of them are fear-based, weaponized words.
Okay.
This one, for example, I remember when I was only 7 or 8 years old, in grade 3, I think it was. We were doing some athletic training in primary school, and
I feel like this guy might as well have just gone out here and written a bunch of words like asshole, dickhead. It's like, these are all fear words. Words used against me to disparage me. Why?
Yeah. All he wanted to do was straight porn, and then they called him a homophobe. He ended up sucking cock all night on camera.
Poor guy. Yeah, this guy sucks.
Yeah, Let's move on. Let's see. This is a video about the minimum wage increase. Is minimum wage increase fair?
Okay.
So, do I support the minimum wage hike? I do not. Let me tell you why.
All right.
It is unfair to people who have worked hard. It is unfair to people who went to school. It is unfair to trade professionals, talented, qualified, skilled individuals. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because minimum wage is not intended to support a family. People who make minimum wage should not drive nice cars. Maybe they have to take a bus, ride to work. People making minimum wage should not be able to afford their own apartments, stuff like that. Can you live?
You're an asshole, and you should probably die.
Yeah, it's pretty sad to say. Well, it's not intended for that. It's like, so the millions of people that find themselves in those positions are just, fuck them. They should have done something different.
So you're basically saying that people who work a full work week at a job that is probably so hard that your fucking stupid, overprivileged ass wouldn't even do it yourself, they don't deserve a living wage. Well,
Right.
Fuck you. I don't know. I mean,
and then they get on welfare, and then society picks up.
Well, he's probably against welfare too, because he's a piece of shit. And like all pieces of shit, he's against helping anyone but him fucking self.
Yes.
So I wish he would just dunk his head in the toilet and drown himself, but whatever.
Above the minimum wage as it is.
It's rare for someone.
I feel bad though, because someone that gets paid minimum wage will probably have to clean it up.
I can't believe how quickly you've made me just revile you as a fucking person. Like usually it takes at least a little while.
Yeah, there's a bunch of whiny
fuck
babies.
This person, but wow, like right out of the gate, I hate your fucking guts. You're horrible. You're just fucking horrible. Thanks.
It is, absolutely. Many people are doing it right now.
Uh-huh.
I did it. But the real thing
Talk about sucking dick
is
or
it's
what?
gonna destroy a lot of jobs.
No, it's not.
businesses, especially small businesses, are not going to be able to afford to pay employees minimum wage if it increases 50%. In the state of California, in some counties, minimum wage is going up from $10 an hour to $15 an hour.
Okay, that's going to happen but it's not going to happen overnight. So you already misrepresented the issue. It's going to happen gradually, and I mean, could it potentially lead to some job loss? Like, it's possible.
Maybe short term,
but over time, the market will adjust. Labor costs will be adjusted to. Yeah, well, that's why it happens over a long period of time. Several years.
I'm sorry, but a lot of jobs are. I mean, maybe there'd be some short-term job loss. I don't know, but long-term, it should be nothing but job growth. Because what you're doing when you give people $15 an hour, yeah, McDonald's might have to raise the price of a sandwich fucking 25 cents, but those people who were making jack shit are now making enough money to actually buy goods and services. That makes there more demand for those goods and services. That means you have to hire more people, and you have to pay those people the same wage, and so on and so forth. This is a way of fighting against the income disparity that has become such a huge problem in this fucking country, but you don't want to look at that because you're a fucking moron who just, I don't think someone who scrubs the toilets at McDonald's deserves to be able to afford to put a roof over their head. They should sleep under an overpass and take the bus to work. Well, why don't you go fuck yourself? How about I pay you $15 an hour to go fuck yourself in the ass, you miserable pile of useless, goddamn inhuman, sub-degenerate shit.
I don't think he's worth $15 an hour, TJ. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, well, it'll be worth it when I fucking show him his dildo made of pine cones and sulfuric acid.
Was that the 20-inch dildo you were talking about buying?
No, this one's going to be 40.
Oh, okay.
40 inches.
Wide.
Call it the gutter.
Are not going to be able to afford that. They're going to go out of business. And what they're going to do to try to stay afloat, and even major corporations are going to do this, you're going to see an increase in the cost of everything.
Yeah, of course. You are going to see a cost increase, but if you'd actually done any fucking studying on this subject matter that you're trying to speak so authoritatively about, you would realize that the cost increases are negligible. Like, they've actually done stuff. That thing I always talk about, 25 cents more on the Big Mac and shit, that was an actual example of a study that was done. If McDonald's raised the minimum wage to $15, they would have to raise the price of a Big Mac, I think 25, 35 cents. Some minuscule amount like that. So, yeah, it will raise prices, but prices,
go out of business.
You know, when you're going to basically double the wages of workers, but these businesses only have to raise the prices a small fraction of a percent to accommodate that. And most of these companies are already making massive profits anyway.
Bread, clothes, you name it. They're going to have to. The days...
Well, most clothes are not made in the U.S., buddy. If you knew that, those are made overseas in sweatshops, which I guess you have no problem with because they're paid so little.
Yeah, right. The vast majority, I think 80% of clothes worn by Americans are not manufactured in America. Most of them are manufactured in places like Bangladesh. Yep. So the wages of American workers probably have very little to do with the price of clothing.
Employees $15 an hour. You think you're going to get that fucking cheeseburger on the dollar menu? No.
Dollar menu doesn't exist anymore anyway.
Yeah, they've already pretty much phased it out.
Yeah, due to inflation, that's pretty much been done away with.
Yeah.
It's going to be $1.50 menu.
Yeah, and people will be getting paid more, so who gives a shit?
If I know people are going to get paid more and I have to pay more, that's fine by me. I think it'd be fine by a lot of other people. I mean, obviously you don't like it, but you're pretty much a reprehensible scumfuck, so who cares?
They're going to make money somehow. It's going to be off the consumer to try to cover that loss. And again, minimum wage is
not a loss. They can raise the prices.
You can get by on it, barely. If you want to make more.
Yeah, also, a lot of these consumer-based businesses, they're going to be making more money if we raise the minimum wage because people are going to be able to afford the goods and services more. So this is actually going to be a boon to all of these companies that you're talking about are going to be so hurt by it.
No, TJ, when people in lower income brackets have more money, which we know they don't save because they have to spend more money, the fact that they'll spend more money is not going to stimulate the economy in any way.
Yeah, it will.
money, go to school, get a trade, be talented, be resourceful. I mean,
Yeah, just go to school and get a trade and stuff.
Because
that's easy to do.
Well, so we know most people that work minimum wage jobs. We know they just have the luxury of saying, "Hey, I'm just going to go take off, 2 or 3 years or 4 years, whatever, and go back to school."
You know what? I know I'm trying to make ends meet with this shitty job working for Subway for minimum wage, but you know what I'm going to do? Even though I have no ability to save money whatsoever, I'm going to save up some money to go to school.
If only there was a politician.
Let them eat cake.
That had some ideas about issues like this for like public universities and colleges. Huh. If
There is,
only.
and her name is Hillary Clinton.
And her name is John Cena.
We're talking about Bernie Sanders, people. Vote Bernie. Feel the burn. Hashtag feel the burn.
Example. When I started
Give
doing
me an
sushi-
example. Good.
Well, first of all, I worked for minimum wage for.
Say he does sushi. Is that what he said?
They say he's worked for minimum wage.
At the beginning of my
I said something about sushi.
employment 25 years ago. I flipped burgers. I washed cars. I worked at Target.
Yeah.
Mowed lawns, shit like that.
Yeah.
And I got sick of that. The job sucked. Paychecks even sucked worse.
So wait, you're meaning to tell me you actually understand the position these people are in, and yet you're still against them? What a fucking... You're even more of a piece of shit than I thought. I thought at least you were some snob who was cloistered away from all this shit. I mean, I looked at your shitty house and assumed that, I knew you weren't fucking rich living in that fucking shithole, but... I thought that maybe you would at least had enough of a, maybe not a silver spoon, but like, a fucking, what's a...
Like a brass spoon or something?
Yeah, like a brass spoon in your mouth, and you never had to work the minimum wage jobs. But apparently no, you've worked the shitty jobs, and you realize how hard they are, and you realize how disappointing it is to get that shitty slap-in-the-face paycheck, and yet you're still up here talking this bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you to death. You're horrible. How can you speak these words from your mouth and not just retch at the sound of your own voice?
Because he earned it, TJ, unlike these lazy slobs.
What did he earn? Some fucking desolate shithole? With some fucking lamp from fucking 1860
He
behind him and
earned it,
shit?
TJ. Unlike these lazy people who just want to flip burgers for $100 an hour.
And these crappy fucking reproduction paintings he's got hanging up in his fucking living room.
He earned it.
So what did I do? I saved up some money when I was flipping burgers.
Wow.
Making minimum wage. At the time, it was like $7 an hour or something like that.
He fucking did it.
But I did it. And anyway.
Well, you just said that people who make minimum wage shouldn't even have enough money to drive a nice car or even afford a living space, and yet you're saying that they should save up some money? How?
Yeah, he believes that minimum wage should be a motivation to get out of minimum wage. That's
Also, we don't know his
ridiculous point that he's
circumstances.
making.
Maybe there's a family member he was able to live with, so he was able to save up this money.
What did I do? I saved up. I got a car, and I started delivering pizzas. Now I got paid minimum wage delivering pizzas, but I made tips. So now I'm making, 50% more than minimum wage. Car broke down, started making pizzas. Back to minimum wage. It's like, this fucking sucks. So I got a job as a busboy at a restaurant, making minimum wage plus tips. Wasn't happy being a busboy, but I was still making 50% more than minimum wage. So I got a job being a server after 6 months. Now I'm making double what I made minimum wage. The bottom line is I was resourceful.
No. What about that litany of jobs means you're resourceful? You literally went from shitty minimum wage job to shitty minimum wage job.
Yeah, I think you said like 3 or 4 minimum wage
And then at the end of your little rant, your little litany of like, I worked as a pizza delivery guy, and then I worked making pizza, and then I worked as a busboy.
Obviously, you wasted the money you spent on that car, too, because you said it broke down shortly after you bought it.
Right.
So was that even a good investment?
We did not see any tremendous social mobility from this guy.
And then at the end of that rant of like, yeah, I worked all these low-end fucking shitty jobs because I was resourceful. It's like, no, you didn't. You did it because you're desperate and shitty, and you should recognize that other people in that same desperate, shitty situation actually need help.
And instead of having public policies to help those people, instead, we should do everything in our power to hold them down.
Fuck this guy. What a piece
That's what he's basically advocating for.
You know, people can work for tips. There's a lot of places that work for tips that you can work for tips at.
A lot of people who work
wow.
for tips get paid less than the regular minimum wage.
So basically what he's saying is let the consumers directly pay the person, because he's talking about tips now.
Yeah, passing on the cost to the consumers.
Before he's like, oh, we don't want to pass on the cost to the consumers. That's going to hurt business. Like, well, consumers are already subsidizing the main places American
His point
tips.
would probably be that tips are not mandatory or something like that.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. Most people in America, when they go, so other countries, sure, but in America, which I'm sure is where he's from, tipping in restaurants in a lot of places is expected. And there's a lot of social pressure. If you don't tip, it's like, well, these people make $2.13 an hour. You're kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, so people that don't tip are pretty much regarded as like scum. But I mean, restaurants now have been experimenting with eliminating tipping and moving to profit sharing, and they're seeing their profits go way up. So this kind of argument that, oh, if we raise wages and we pay people more and we do more, it's just going to kill business. It's not true. And I mean, hey, there might be specific circumstances you can point to where, oh, it did hurt this business. But I think for the vast majority of people, it'll be a positive thing.
Yeah, in Albuquerque, when I was living there, we voted on raising the minimum wage in the city, and that included raising the minimum wage for tipped employees. And a whole bunch of restaurants freaked out. They tried to get their employees to sign contracts saying that they didn't have to pay them the new wage and stuff like that, which I don't even think was legal.
No.
But yeah, I mean, that's how they react. It's funny that, you know, he's talking about not passing on the cost to the consumer, but that's what you do when you underpay your employees and make them work for tips. You're passing on the cost of paying your employees to the customer.
Yeah, and not only that, a lot of these companies that pay people these shit wages, their employees just end up on government assistance, and it gets paid for by the tax dollars.
And they also get tax credits. A lot of things get subsidized by taxpayers to begin with. So let's just try to help them out. And like you said, someone might get $15 an hour.
It shouldn't be the American taxpayer's job to bring the wage that these employees are getting up to a living wage. It should be their employer's responsibility to pay them a living wage in the fucking first place.
Who's directly benefiting by undervaluing that person's really at the market rate they should be paid.
It needs to be raised to $15 an hour, but we also need to create a stipulation that keeps it adjusting for inflation and keeps it adjusting for cost of living.
Seems completely reasonable.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I have a few kind of ridiculous videos. Like this one claims Jesus was a shapeshifter.
All right, let's take a look.
A recently translated
my God.
text states that Jesus was a shapeshifter.
Sweet. One of Odo's people.
Jesus was
a changeling.
Jesus was a shapeshifter.
Strange mystery.
A 1,200-year-old Egyptian text found in an Egyptian monastery known as the Monastery of St. Michael's offers strange insight into more supernatural abilities Jesus allegedly had that the Bible...
So being the son of God is not enough for the supernatural abilities thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of supernatural abilities Jesus described in the Bible,
never mentions.
Oh, he had other powers the Bible doesn't even know about.
Nearly 1,000 years ago. It lies in ruins. Only in 1911 was it rediscovered. Nearly everything in its library was written in the ancient language of Coptic. Not all the texts were able to be translated at the time of their discovery.
Mm-hmm.
That is, until recently.
Oh, shit.
In this library, a very special text written by Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, whom was a well-known theologian during his life.
Theologian? Yeah, you come across as a real expert. That's theologian?
Yeah, theologian.
Okay.
From the 4th century A.D. was found. Rolf
Okay,
Van
so
Broek,
what?
of Utrecht University recently translated it.
Okay.
Okay.
The text provides additional information to the story of Jesus. Information that
It's horrible transitions in this
the
video.
Bible.
You just showed this.
According to the recently translated
This proves
text,
nothing.
This is like Mario and Evan Lefevre collaborated on this video, and this is what happened.
It's like, one, I don't give the Bible any credibility to begin with, and two, just because you found some ancient scribblings that said Jesus could shapeshift doesn't really matter to me. I don't care.
I want to know what Jesus does with his power. Does he like turn into a lion or something?
And this is supposed to be 4 centuries later. You know, it's like, so how would this guy know?
By the way, before I forget,
he was basically writing some Jesus fan fiction.
Yeah, precisely.
Mario has agreed to come on the show with Evan Lefevre.
Woo! Mario will face God. He will face his fears.
Mario versus God himself.
Who shall
Evan
prevail?
Lefevre, our friend forever.
Will the angels intervene?
Lord of the multiverse.
And next week, JF versus G-Man rap battle is also confirmed.
Ow, 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 ow.
We got Mercedes coming on the show eventually here, but we haven't locked down a date with her.
Yeah, she's going to wear a butt plug throughout her entire appearance.
That's just TJ's wishful thinking.
I bet she'd do it. Anyway.
I bet she'd do it. Oh, yeah.
Shut up, Scotty. I don't care about your opinion.
apparently,
like a biscuit.
someone named Pontius Pilate.
Troll.
Yeah, how about this?
Is this a troll?
No, there's no way. There's no fucking way. He's talking about
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, and he's like some dude named like Pontius Pilate.
Pontiac Pilati.
Yeah, Pilati Pontiac something. I don't know. Some guy. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Troll.
I don't believe it. There's no way anyone can be this fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is a troll.
So we're going on with troll here?
Yeah, there's a troll.
Right. Fuck yeah. Can we... Oh, this is a Prager video. Can we rely on wind and solar energy?
No way.
See?
Are wind and
I wonder what they're
going to
say.
The answer to our energy needs?
No.
There's a lot of sun and a lot of wind. They're free. They're clean. No CO2 emissions. So what's the problem?
Yeah,
Why
what
do
is the
solar
problem?
and wind combined provide less than 2% of the world's energy? To answer these questions, we need to understand what makes energy, or anything else for that matter, cheap and plentiful.
Okay.
For something to be cheap and plentiful, every part of the process to produce it, including every input that goes into it, must be cheap and plentiful. Yes, the sun is free.
It's good that's only our only concern, too, you know?
Yes, that's the only concern.
Yes, wind is free, but the process of turning sunlight and wind into usable energy on a mass scale is far from free. In fact, compared to the other sources of energy, fossil fuels, nuclear power, and hydroelectric power, solar and wind power are very expensive.
Huh.
The base.
I wonder why that'd be. Would it be that they're newer technologies that are still being developed and, you know... I mean, look, every generation of solar panels it's gotten cheaper and cheaper to capture that energy.
Didn't you tell me that Germany now produces like some huge amount of its power from solar?
Yeah, they have solar power plants, and they also have solar panels all over everything. Like,
Which is a great idea.
I went to a rest stop on a highway in Germany, and everything was covered in solar panels.
But it's ineffectual, though.
Yeah.
The problem is that sunlight and wind as energy sources are both weak. The more technical term is dilute and unreliable.
The sun is an unreliable source of energy. Like, how are you alive, motherfucker?
The sun literally is the source of energy for the entire planet Earth, unless you count like the geothermal energy. So, you know, that's really dumb. And the sun is unreliable. I mean, I would say it's
not unreliable in my fucking life.
It's far more reliable a source of energy than the fucking crude oil we dig up from the ground.
It's so reliable that we rely on it for our existence.
You see all those plants around? You ever seen a plant? Did you know that all of those, the reason they have leaves, those leaves are actually collecting energy from the sun to keep those plants alive? And then all animals on Earth actually eat those plants to derive their energy, or they eat each other, you know, or the animals eat other animals that ate the plants. Or if you're like us, an omnivorous species. Well, sorry to the vegan crowd out there, but if you're like us, you eat both plants and animals who ate plants to get the energy. So
that's strange.
All of the energy that we rely on comes from the sun. It's not an unreliable, diluted source. It's literally a giant fucking burning nuclear explosion that's been going on for billions of years and will continue on for billions fucking more. There's nothing unreliable about that, you fucking idiot.
It's unreliable.
What about when it's dark out? Huh? Gotta be dark sometimes. Oh, gotcha.
Oh, shit.
That's called battery technology.
It takes a lot of resources to collect and concentrate them, and even more resources to make them available.
This guy wants us to just
on
give up
demand.
on it and just keep using
These
fossil
are called
fuels.
The diluteness problem and the intermittency problem.
Mm-hmm.
The diluteness problem is that, unlike coal or oil, the sun and the wind don't deliver concentrated energy, which means you need a lot of additional materials to produce a unit of energy. For solar power, such materials can include highly purified silicon, phosphorus, boron, and it doesn't...
Oh, by the way, TJ, I wasn't even going to say anything about it, but now people are commenting on the chat. You just apologized to vegans. You're dead to me, TJ.
Sorry about
You're
that.
dead, TJ.
I'm sorry to all the non-vegans who are mad at me for
Finally,
apologizing to
Scotty's verbal abuse. His vegan propaganda has reduced TJ to the point where he now apologizes.
Apologize to the vegans some more.
If I offended vegans out there.
Vegans, I apologize, vegans. Vegans, I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I was sorry to the people who are not vegans who were offended by my apology to the vegans.
Well, they're offended that you were offended.
And I'd like to formally say, fuck all vegans. sorry about that momentary lapse of judgment where I actually
at least you
their
can make
feelings into consideration.
You've made amends to that,
Sorry
TJ.
about that.
Other complex compounds like titanium dioxide. All these materials have to be mined, refined, and or manufactured in order to make solar panels.
And plenty of people have done it with, there's countries that have totally embraced this technology.
And who's to say that different methods of collecting solar energy cannot be developed?
Yeah, it's better to have this product. Sure, it might be more difficult to build. It might be more difficult to get it off the ground in a practical way. But don't you think that investing in that and transferring over to that is better than relying on limited resources like coal and fossil fuels that also pollute the environment in the process?
Yeah, you may have heard of this little thing called climate change.
He's from Prager University, Scotty.
He's
from Prager University, Scotty.
Well, climate change still affects him whether he believes it or not. So,
those industrial processes take a lot of energy.
Sure.
For wind, needed materials include high-performance compounds for turbine blades and the rare earth metal neodymium for lightweight specialty magnets, as well as the steel and concrete necessary to build structures, thousands of them as tall as skyscrapers. And as big a problem as diluteness is, it's nothing compared to the intermittency problem. This isn't exactly a newsflash, but the sun doesn't shine all the time.
Yeah. As Scotty pointed out, there is night as well. If only there was some way to store that power.
Yeah, if there was something called maybe something called a battery or something that you could store energy. So when you're driving your car or you're using a phone, you continuously use energy. And you don't necessarily have to have a source directly. There's a place you can store energy.
That's why anyone who has solar panels on their roof, whenever it's nighttime, their house just totally dies,
And the wind doesn't blow all the time. The only way for...
we could just put a windbag like you in front of them and then they can just perpetually go all the time. Or we could even hook something up to your mouth since you're always running it, Perpetual motion.
For solar and wind to be truly useful would be if we could store them so that they would be available when we needed them.
We can.
You can store oil in a tank. Where do you store solar or wind energy? No such mass storage system exists.
There's no mass storage system.
In the entire world, there is not one real or proposed independent freestanding solar or wind power plant. All of them require backup. And guess what the go-to backup is? Fossil fuel.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that fossil fuel is like a superior thing that we should just always use forever. That just means you know, when the automobile was invented, everyone didn't just switch over to the automobile. There was a lot of people that stuck with their horse and their carriages and shit for a while. Just because everyone didn't immediately make the transition. And by the way, the early automobiles, a lot of them sucked. There was disadvantages that they had compared to the fucking carriages with horses and shit. Like, they could break down. You know, maybe your horse could get hurt or something, but it's not going to break down.
Here's what solar and wind electricity look like in Germany, which is the world's leader in renewables.
Sweet.
The word erratic leaps to mind. Wind is constantly varying, sometimes disappearing completely.
And yet somehow Germany survives.
And solar produces little in the winter months when Germany most needs energy. Therefore, some reliable source of energy is needed to do the heavy lifting.
No, not necessarily heavy lifting, just supplementing.
In Germany's case, that energy is coal. So, while Germany has spent tens of billions of dollars to subsidize solar panels and windmills, fossil fuel use in that nation has not decreased. It's increased. And less than 10% of their total energy is generated by solar and wind.
That's actually a lie. I've looked up statistics that contradict that claim, so now I don't trust anything this guy says.
Furthermore, switching back and forth between solar and wind and coal to maintain a steady flow of energy is costly. Utility bills for the average German have gone up so dramatically that energy poverty has become a
I would ask if I asked any Germans watching this if it were true, but they can actually watch our lives.
There's workarounds for it, so I'm
For
sure
the smart ones.
I'm sure there are a few people in Germany watching this right now.
popular term to describe those who cannot pay or who can barely pay their electricity bills. If those bills one day go down, the reason will not be more solar and wind energy.
How do you know? Sorry, you're predicting the future now? You're saying because the technology is not 100% where it needs to be now, it never will be.
Well, he's right, TJ.
That's just silly.
But lower oil and coal prices. There's no free lunch, and there's no free energy.
There actually is.
Well,
and that very much includes the highly expensive energy from the sun and the wind. I'm Alex Epstein.
Technology technology never improves, is the thing, you know? It's just impossible. There's problems with solar and wind energy now, therefore there always will be. No clever people are ever going to solve those.
Instead, let us rely on a finite resource that the scarcer it becomes, the more valuable it'll become to us, and the cost will go up higher and higher. Oh, and also, at the same time, we're helping to destroy the ecosystem in which we live.
Good idea, Scotty.
All right, so we'll move on eventually here. Before we do, just want to remind everyone that didn't catch the beginning of the show that in January, the Drunken Peasants will be going to Los Angeles, California. We do plan on having a meetup there with our fans. We'll give you details as the event draws closer. And Paul Zigo has informed us that he will be joining us there.
Attend.
So if you want to meet all four of us in person, stay tuned to the show.
TJ will probably only be there for 10 minutes, though. So.
And one lucky fan will get a handy.
Yeah,
from
right.
Paul Zigo.
TJ won't be there for 10 minutes. He'll get so drunk that he ends up staying there all night. And then he'll be like, call me a cab, Ben. And I'll call him one, and he'll be too busy, and he'll ignore it, and it'll leave and charge me anyway.
Yeah, during the meetup in London, TJ was totally trashed.
No.
Yeah, you were.
Lies.
And you were too afraid to go on the tube or take a taxi by yourself. Go leave me here.
I think I was pretty much right to not want to do that by myself.
Well, in the end, you did prove yourself right.
You were right because you were a fucking retard.
Well, that's why I fucking said that.
Well, I guess I'll give you that.
I'm sorry,
Don't
TJ.
leave my retarded ass to my own devices.
I'm sorry. I forgot that the 30-year-old needed to be babysat.
Yeah, he did because he was fucking drunk as shit.
He did need to be babysat, boy. I tell you what.
I combined does and did, so.
You did.
He did.
He did.
He did.
9 of the Center for Industrial Progress for Prager.
All right.
You're the opposite of progress. You're a
Clinton files for New Hampshire primary.
She's garbage.
Well, everyone knew she was going to do that. I mean,
yeah. It looks like Russia may be banned from the next Olympics.
Sweet. less competition for us.
Profound impact on the future of Russian athletics. Recommendations include suspension from upcoming competitions and lifetime bans for some athletes. World Sports' Alex Thomas joins us now from London. Alex, such disturbing findings.
Someone in the chat said, come to Eastern Kentucky. You know what? That was first on our list, but we're like, fuck, we're not quite Eastern Kentucky ready yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Let's cut our teeth on L.A. a little bit first, you know.
Yeah.
Then we'll work our way up to Eastern Kentucky.
Anyone waiting for the Kentucky meetup, you're going to be waiting a really long time.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry, Kentucky sucks.
Things from this commission.
Move to civilization.
Even they said it's worse than what they first thought.
That's right, and has implications not just for athletics in Russia, Linda, but also for all sports globally. We know Interpol have already chipped in the last hour to say they are going to increase the scope of any investigations globally. And we know as well that Dick Pounds, the chairman...
Dick Pounds?
You can't make that name up.
His name is Dick Pounds?
Could you Could you imagine like when they were in school and like
come here, Dick Pounds?
No. They're naming the people in the class and there's like Dick Pounds, Johnny Stevens. It's like what?
Dick Pounds.
Dick Pounds, Mary Miller.
I can't believe that's someone's name.
Dick Pounds.
Of the WADA Independent Commission that's been looking into findings from looking into allegations from a German TV documentary last December and had quite a narrow remit, nonetheless has hinted at some of the implications beyond the sport of athletics and beyond Russia as well, saying
Dick Pounds.
I can't even listen to the rest of it. I'm so...
What do you guys think about steroid use in like sports and shit? In Olympic competition, I'm against it because it's not a for-profit competition.
True.
It's supposed to be the greatest of the amateur ranks, even though we let pros play in basketball and stuff like that. It's in pro sports maybe, but it is I don't know. It's a pretty messed up issue. I have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I say let them fucking do it. Become super athletes with the help of fucking drugs.
I mean, eventually their bodies...
make shit more interesting anyway.
Eventually their bodies will just start falling apart on them.
Neat.
Do you remember that one time we were watching WWE and Vince McMahon came out and he tried to get in the ring and he ended up
yeah, fucking up his leg, and then he had to like do his bit from the ground.
Yeah, that was due to steroid use. He fucking blew out. He tore a muscle getting into the ring.
Yeah, well, that's pretty sad, but I mean, he's also he was also in his 60s when that happened. So
true. Actually, he's in his 70s, but even so.
But when that happened, he was in his 60s. So
no, I think he was in his 70s. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon is pushing 80 years old.
Oh, is he? I thought he was.
Yeah.
No, I think he's like. I think
he was pushing. I thought he was just.
Yeah, I think he's pushing 70. I don't know.
Let's see how old he is.
Yeah, check the age.
Everyone watching the show that doesn't give a fuck about this, bear with us.
Fuck him.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
he is 70.
Yeah,
You're right.
70. So he must have been 60 in his 60s.
Yeah, I thought he was older than that because he's so out of touch with everything.
Well, you can get pretty out of touch just by 60.
Yeah.
No reason to believe athletics is the only sport in Russia to have been affected. But the top line, as you say, Linda, is that this WADA commission has accused Russian athletics of being of state-sponsored doping.
Dick Pounds.
See, so
allegations that have been levied against them for a long time.
Right. I mean, it's one thing if an athlete does it on their own accord, but it's another thing when the state is encouraging that their athletes dope to get an advantage.
Yeah.
But
this was like the plot of Rocky IV,
Yeah.
So they were doing it then. I don't see why they should stop now. People just need to stop whining, man. Rocky was able to beat Ivan Drago. He just found the fucking eye of the tiger again, and he fucking whooped his ass. Fuck that shit.
Americans just need eye of the tiger. Yeah.
On his home turf, even.
Yeah, man. We
in
just
the Soviet Union.
Get Sylvester Stallone in there. He'll figure some shit out. Don't
All right,
worry.
so
don't you worry.
No steroids for Americans, and the fucking cheating Russians need them,
So
though.
I can't. I mean, I'm looking at the playlist over here, and I can't help but notice there's a a clip called Jeb Bush. Hell yeah, I would kill baby Hitler.
Yeah.
All right, play it.
I mean, like, yeah.
All right.
Let's take a look at that. Yeah. Okay.
What is this fucking silly ass music?
Yeah, get to the point. Bush was asked, what is the funniest, most bizarre email he has received? Okay.
Said if you could go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you? I need to know.
And crazy.
Hell yeah, I would.
Even if he was wrong.
You heard it here first. Jeb Bush would kill a baby.
Jeb Bush
He'd strangle baby
would
Hitler
murder a
in his crib.
Don't include the Hitler thing. It's funnier if it's just like Jeb Bush admits he would kill a baby.
Well, he did.
He said, "Hell yeah, I'd kill that baby."
No, look, you gotta step up, man. I mean, that would be key.
Wow.
That would be
key. You know,
you gotta step up, man. That'd be key. Does that sound like a presidential answer to you?
I would say, honestly, as horrible as the things Hitler did was, I don't believe that going back and altering the past would ever really be a good idea.
Like, you know, it's just the problem with it is the same time travel bullshit questions you always have to ask, which, you know, no one's ever actually had to ask them because we never invented time travel. But
Bush goes back and kills
movies.
It's so popular in our fiction and stuff. Like, you know, how do you know you go back and kill Hitler?
How do you know you even would be born if Hitler never...
Right, what if, I mean, yeah, there could be a grandfather paradox. You kill Hitler, you were never born, so you never went back and killed Hitler, so he existed, so that you were born, and then it's like this weird regressive loop that just kind of eats itself forever. But also, you know, what if you kill Hitler and... some more brutal dictator that's more competent than Hitler rises to power and does the same thing he did, but more effectually. You know, what if there was a more competent leader who didn't try to fight a war on multiple fronts and actually did achieve world domination eventually? You know, that would obviously be a worse set of circumstances. You know, you don't know that killing baby Hitler is a good thing. We know Hitler was bad. There's no one's denying that, but... how do you know killing him wouldn't just give rise to something worse than he was?
You know. Going back in history.
It's a pretty realistic concern to say that maybe Stalin would have like swept through more territory, taken more control.
We don't even know what the consequences would have been of Hitler dying before the time that he actually died. I mean, we don't know.
Right. You know, I mean, like, I guess that, you know, if you're just talking about... Yeah, it's a stupid answer to the question, sorry.
Well, I mean, there's no way to know.
And doing that is, as we know from the series, what was the name of the Michael Fox movies? Back to the Future. Back to the Future, it could have a dangerous effect on everything else.
There's a lot to consider in this.
But I'd do it. I mean,
even being aware of the danger.
Yeah, there is some danger.
Changing the past.
I still do it.
He's definitely a Bush. You can say that for him. This could have disastrous consequences, sir.
I decided.
Yeah, but I'm a decider. I decided what to do. I'm just like my brother. I decide, and that's what we do. And, you know, I know maybe killing Hitler is maybe not the best idea, but, you know, I'm going to do it because fuck him. And, you know, you got to just roll them dice, man.
Yeah?
What a moron.
Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So there's a university in Missouri, and there was a lot of racial tensions going on there over the last few months. And today, the president of that university resigned. I mean, it got to the point where students were hunger striking over it, and the entire, not the entire football team, but 30 of the players and the coach all said that they would not play in the next game.
Wow.
If this guy didn't...
He was so bad that football players decided they weren't going to play football. That's pretty bad.
Right. I mean, they would have taken a forfeit at that point.
I mean,
Yeah,
shit.
that's pretty bad.
And in college football, one loss pretty much ruins your season.
What did this guy do?
I'll play the story here, and it'll probably elaborate a little more.
Please use this resignation to heal, not to hate.
Tim Wolf is answering the call for change at the University of Missouri. He stepped down from his post as president amid heated racial tensions at Mizzou's main campus. Students insisted racism is real at their school, and their leader wasn't doing enough about it. It's a claim Wolf acknowledges.
I take full responsibility.
What's an example of the racism?
For this frustration, and I take full responsibility for the inaction that has occurred.
Well, if it's inaction, it actually hasn't occurred. So.
Yeah.
News of the resignation was met with celebration by some students. Their voices united in an anthem reminiscent of the civil rights struggle of the 1950s and 60s.
No.
Shut up.
None of these people experienced what it was like in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Sorry,
shut
it
the
didn't
fuck
happen.
Up. Bullshit, horse shit, dive AIDS.
60s.
Ugh.
They can self-aggrandize as much as they want. They did not face the same kind of shit.
Yeah, I haven't even heard what the fucking supposed problem was yet.
Everybody!
Shut up.
It's really about just getting fairness. It's not just about Tim Wolf resigning, but it's about just
Okay.
getting equal rights with different things on campus. And I
Like
know
what?
this is just like the beginning of it.
The push for change meant
Okay.
a personal
Okay.
commitment for Jonathan Butler. The Missouri grad student refused to eat until Wolf stepped down.
After all the letters we've sent, all the in-person interactions,
what
after
happened?
all the forums we've attended, after all the tweets,
But what was
and emails
racist?
that we've sent, telling
Excuse
the
me?
administration about our pain, it should not have taken this much, and it is disgusting and vile that we find ourselves in the place that we do.
But you've not.
The Missouri Tigers football team fueled
You've not
the cause
explained
by
what
threatening to
happened.
stay off the practice field in protest. Their head coach announced its support with a single image of his players locking arms. The team was prepared to boycott its next game, a move which could have cost the school $1 million.
Damn.
This morning, a faculty walkout added even more pressure.
Jesus, what the fuck even happened here?
What did this guy do?
Can we just fucking... What happened at this damn school?
Missouri journalism professor Cynthia Frisbee says she's seen the ugly reality of racism firsthand.
I've been here for 18 years, and this is nothing new. So I have
What's
been called
nothing
the
new?
N-word too many times to talk about it on camera.
By who?
And to
What
write them
happened?
all out.
Jonathan Butler has ended his hunger strike. The Mizzou Tigers will be back on the practice field tomorrow.
Okay.
But the students' struggle is far from over.
But what was it about?
Now the story's over.
What was
Hold
it
on.
about? Fuck this.
Let's see. I'll put it up here.
Yeah, let's try to figure this out. The fuck is this thing? Yeah, shut up. No one cares about you. Just hours after the president of the University of Missouri system resigned on Monday, the chancellor of the university announced he was also stepping down amid a controversy over race. Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton. We're just going to call him R. Dick Pounds, actually. Lofton praised the efforts of graduate students. Jonathan Butler ended his hunger strike, blah, blah, blah. Scholars coordinating, blah, blah, blah. African-American students of Missouri who complained of inaction on the part of school leaders in dealing with racism on the overwhelmingly white Columbia campus. Black student leaders have conveyed their displeasure over students openly using racial slurs and other incidents. What other incidents? So basically there were just too many white people going around using racial slurs on the campus, and that's why all this happened? It strikes me as kind of silly.
Apparently so.
Yeah, I don't know. That just seems dumb. And they're going to sit there and sing We Shall Overcome for that shit? Fuck you. Bunch of goddamn crybabies, you ask me.
I think the thing that was going on was there was some racial stuff going on, and the president of the university refused to do anything about it, so it got blown up into what it is now.
Okay,
basically.
so basically, you know, if this guy would have reacted quicker and actually done something, it wouldn't have become this big of a deal.
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay. Well, whatever. I still think it's kind of stupid, but
me too.
I don't really know much about it,
Yeah,
so maybe
I
I'm
don't really
speaking
know.
from ignorance. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the end of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, give it a big fat fucking thumbs up. And remember, if you're going to do any Christmas shopping on Amazon, or if you just want to shop for yourself on Amazon, be sure to use the Drunken Peasants affiliate links so that we get a little portion of that Amazon money. It does not raise the price on you at all. It just helps this podcast out.
Only money.
And if you want to support the podcast another way, you can get a free audiobook from Audible, audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants. Also, if you want to support us directly and get access to cool perks like monthly private shows, special commentaries, and hangouts with us, the Drunken Peasants, you can go to patreon.com/DP, check out our perks, and consider becoming a patron. And
so, TJ, why are you in such a hurry to end the show? You want a cigarette or something? Yeah.
What?
Is that? Yeah.
I don't even think I'll be able to get another cigarette today, but
his master will not deal out any more cigarettes.
2 hours, 30 minutes. Show's over. So, everybody, like I said, you want to support the show, give it a thumbs up, and be sure
subscribe.
To come back on Wednesday, and we will see you guys once more. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Fucking rock on.
Rock out with your cock out.
Dick pounds.
Jam out with your clam out.
#Dick pounds.